What it do? What it do is barbecue or mildew on Wednesday night. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of Outlaw Radio. My name just so happens to be Kevin Barnes. I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, certified professional life coach, Negro Whisperer. And I'm the host of Outlaw Radio, and this is what we do 2 times a week. Usually, we were off on Monday. Like I said, I always love to take advantage of the time I have to spend with my famo. So I was off Monday, right? It was the holiday. Whether or not people wanted to, we're gonna talk about whether or not it's a holiday and how you feel about it. That amongst other shit will be discussed within the next 2 hours. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is in the building. I'm not alone, as you can see. I have some co-conspirators with me. Mr. Carter was populating, was shaker-laking, was crack-a-lacking.
Vitality is what's popping right now, y'all. The House of Vitality, as a matter of fact. Y'all make sure y'all look this shit up next month, y'all. Listen, hey, life is what's happening, though, for real, man. Let me get back to the script. Life is what's happening, man. You know, welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood, healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm your holistic health and wellness coach, Mark Carter. I'm also the one who brings you nature and herbs supplements and vitality smoothies, y'all. You better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, if you ain't tasted it, you better taste it. If you ain't came and seen me, you better come holler. What's happening, y'all?
Yeah, man, you got to support black businesses. That's what we push. That's what we promote, supporting each other. I got a new nickname for the homie down in the corner. Chat room, I see y'all popping. I'm gonna get with y'all. Now, what is this? Ralphie Stillskin. What's this going on?
No, that's Rumpelstiltskin. You know, like Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So that's how we gonna do that one.
What's happening?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Trophy Stillskin. Did he
you
go to
know,
sleep and shit? Did he just wake up? How you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, blessed, man. You know, forever. You know, aligned towards my millions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on this next book that's just to empower people, learning ways to make money from the comfort and safety of their own home over their laptop or phone. So as I do my research, I caught this book here. Y'all might want to check it out. Well, I don't know if y'all, in case y'all did want to check it out, it's called Sex Workers, Psychics, and Number Runners, Black Women in New York City's Underground Economy. But it's dope because it just shows how throughout history, we always figured out a way to get a hustle. You know, and they was talking about the rent parties of Harlem that were used to counteract the exorbitant rent prices that the Jewish people were charging as they left Harlem, because black folk was coming in, they kept their buildings and just was whacking black folk over the head. So like these rent parties and shit were a way to kind of help build money up for that shit. And that's what kind of progressed into the speakeasies and the what they would call buffet parties, which was like the brothels.
Okay, I knew Holland was gonna come up somewhere in there, especially if you was referencing.
It was
He said he loves debauchery.
Yeah, that was the first word in the book. Sex
Right. Women of the night, right?
And number runners.
Right.
Black women in New York City's underground economy. It talk about the queen, though, you know, from Hoodlum, St. Clair.
Yeah, Stephanie St. Clair.
Yeah. So, man, black women been getting it since the beginning of times.
Long time. We love you long time. Juice lady in the building. What's popping with you, Courtney?
Trying to figure out how to be a number runner, not the sex worker, but you know what I'm saying. How to get these dollars from just wrote that down and get this book, figure it out.
Okay.
I need this money. I'm trying to figure out how can I get like at least like 300,000 a year. If I'm not going to be a millionaire, I think a comfy 300 G's a year after you done bought a house and a couple cars. 300 G's is okay after shit paid, folks.
Yeah, you can live pretty nice, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, bake your own bread, grow your own vegetables, right? Some exciting shit.
You know.
Village MKE. Shout out to you and yours. Your little I won't say little. You know, black people
Damn, you
always
know,
call
already
them
said
something
it,
little.
Kev. You already said it. You know,
Right.
I heard
Look,
your
black
little
people always calling
organization.
somebody shit little. Ain't we?
Damn.
Oh,
Shout
man,
out to you in that little village.
Right. Last village.
congratulations to your little house and shit. You know, shit like
Right.
that. You just negative off the bat. No, shout out to your organization.
Last village. Damn.
Okay, I know, man. That's what you know. I'm from Capital. Forgive me. I hope everybody is comfortable. I hope everybody had a good rest. I know I did. Let me catch this chat room because that is a very important component of the show. By the way, there's a phone number associated, and that number happens to be 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131 is scrolling across the bottom of the screen just in case you are remedial. Ewok the Great in the chat room. He said, "What up, homies? How you doing?"
Peace.
My
What
sister
up, Walt?
Alexandria Brewer, welcome. She called us early this week. We certainly thank you for your support. She's been rocking with us for about about a month or two now. So she didn't call it the Outlaw brand. So welcome to the family. Jesse Parrish, aka Shay Nkrumah. Che, I don't know if you're Latino, I guess Latinx. Peace Outlaws from the Mile High Income City and Frontline Black News and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Absolutely. My brother Dion, he said, "Man, I want my motherfucking reparations."
That's
All right.
Yeah.
Jesse Parrish echoes that sentiment. He says, FBA reparations now. FBA reparations now. Foundational Black Americans, if you will. If you know, you know. I don't know. You might not define yourself as a foundational Black American. Some people say, I'm not Black. Don't call me Black. All right. Call in if you got
All right,
any.
nigga.
Right. All right. Some people say, don't call me nigga. Some Black people say, do not call me nigga. Right. And so it's like, all right, I say N-word to him sometimes, like my N-word. It just feels weird, the energy. I'm just saying, who you talking to, my N-word? What the fuck is wrong with Kev? He's outlawing himself. Listen, in the mill word travels. Dale, who owned Dale's. I don't know if you all. I'm old, so I've been in Dale's. Had some good times in Dale's on Capitol. The owner, I guess he passed. And Dale's has been there for a very long time. A lot of people kick it there. So I know people are tripping off of that, but you can't really put it's not like you can even feel a certain way about it when 15 people were shot in 4 days in our community, right? It's almost like, all right. In other news, right? Like we're gonna talk about this crazy violence in the city. Mondays and Wednesdays is when we're here. So 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please share the show. You need to get the show in front of more people. If you like what you hear on the show, please share it. That's the best way to support me, unless you want to hit the Cash App, right? Barbecue and Mildew, what you want to do. My sister Alicia Mullins, she said, "Oh, how you doing, Alicia?"
Peace.
Purpose to Prosperity, her organization. Shout out to you and your little organization. You know how Black people be. Right. Congratulations on your little degree. Let me see. Earl Henning, my brother, he said, What is it, my brothers and sisters? Give me my money. Right. Give me my money. He said, I see we doing mass shootings now in Philly. We bugging out all over the place. We are going crazy. It's crazy. It's many is the word we used to use in the hood. This shit is many. It's many in the hood, in the city right now, not just the hood. Mama Jenkins, she said, "Good evening, my Outlaw Radios. Do y'all got any fireworks?" I have to make some admissions on this show when we start talking about the 4th of July. I feel like I niggered myself this year. I niggered up for 4th of July. Now I didn't wear no outfit or nothing, no little stars and stripes, nothing like that. But I partook in some festivities. We're gonna talk about it. As Brewer said, we're becoming desensitized to the BS. Yes, we are. Well, we're not. I don't think we are desensitized to it. I think we're very sensitive to it. But that's a good, I don't know if we'll talk about how we can split that. I feel like that's splitting hairs. Are we sensitive to it or desensitized to it? I don't know. I don't think anybody's asked that question. Because everybody's either one way or the other. So we'll get into that. Let me see. Okay, so 4th of July, right? Now, in our community, this can be a very intense point of contention in the concept of Independence Day. But black people, I'm here to tell you, argue about every holiday. It ain't just this one. We be mad at each other for Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day. We black people hate all holidays. Black people, it's a lot of black people who actually hate Juneteenth Day. Imagine that shit. They actually hate Juneteenth Day. A black person say, man, fuck that bullshit. Right. And it's like, I mean, we had Moss for saying we appreciated Black History Month. Right.
Yeah.
So, it's like, do what the fuck you gonna do. Right. And so I wanted to really, my son is getting older, and I realized that I had never really given him the old school kind of thing that I had for my pops, which is, the fireworks. Because my pops would take us and just buy a shitload of fireworks and just sit there on the porch and watch us pop them. And I realized I had never done that with my son. So I went and bought a bunch of fucking fireworks. I was the annoying neighbor this year. I was the asshole next door who went on for 3 days lighting shit up, exploding the house. It was me and my son. Yes, it was. And we had a great time, right? And also barbecue. A lot of food. And I'm here to tell you, yes, I did spend the money. I did enjoy the time off. But there's no American flag hanging anywhere around here. There was nothing red, white, and blue themed about it. We had jerk chicken, grilled jerk chicken, amongst other things on the grill. So I did kind of niggerize myself in that I spent a lot. Right. So I'd like to know, y'all think, because when I say, of course, black people weren't free, right, in 1776. So that's a no-brainer. We know that. So you say, well, why the fuck should we celebrate this holiday? And I don't want to be one-sided about it. I want to be logical about it, because some people would say, well, if you guys are, I always say we're the only true Americans. They say then you should appreciate the 4th of July because it was a declaration of freedom from oppression. And I'm like, damn, I done heard that shit somewhere before. So Kamar, what you think about the 4th of July? And what did you do? Did you niggerize yourself at all? You spent a little money? Please say you spent something. Bought a t-shirt.
I ain't do nothing I don't normally do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go out my way, and yeah, we are. I feel like we are like real Americans, like people who have inhabited this land before white folks came around. You know what I'm saying? And 4th of July, it wasn't meant for our people as far as being free. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it was for them other people, and which was built on a whole lie as far as them being here in this country and them owning the motherfucker and all that. So
their rights to the land in the first place.
You know what I mean? So like as far as holidays, period, you know what I mean? Like I say it all the time. I don't agree with the holidays, man, but I love to see my people having a good time with each other.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And if these the days that I see my people having a good time, you know what I mean? Them just happen to be the days. I wish we could figure out our own reasons to celebrate.
Right.
You know what I mean? And be collective on that.
Right. For me, a party is a motherfucking party, right? It's your kid birthday party, but we still in the back smoking by the garage. Right? Like it's a party is a party. Bro, what you think about I would love to hear your take on the 4th of July. I was like, man, I bet you Real got a real interesting spiel on this.
As for me, I didn't do anything out of the ordinary that I wouldn't normally do. I appreciated not having to go in to work that day. But otherwise, I didn't do anything. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody doing whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? I just, to me, that day is more so entertaining, seeing who tripping about what. Like, I told my lady, I said, man, you would think you wouldn't hear no fireworks going on the way niggas talk about they ain't about to celebrate this shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing too many goddamn fireworks for niggas to not be entertaining the 4th. But you know,
it was too much meat grilling in the city for me to be the only one who niggerized myself.
It's like, what part ain't people actually doing? The dressing like the flag part? Because otherwise, niggas quick to throw something on the grill and they quick to pop fireworks for the whole month of July and shit.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
it just be funny how people take it. But I grew up around that shit. Like I grew up in church, so you know, motherfuckers a trip about you wearing crystals, but they watch they Medea on bootleg and shit. So I've always seen motherfuckers nitpick about how they choose to do shit. It's just comical to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers that's not on that wave. As much as it's, you know, a good portion of us that are on that and, you know, fuck the holidays, it's still about a good half or 60, 70% that don't even give a fuck. So, yeah, they dressing like flags. They getting their outfits, barbecuing. Happy 4th. You know, I'm picking motherfuckers like happy holiday. Like, you know, so.
Kids got new fits on and shit.
Right. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that don't even give a fuck, don't care about the
indoctrinating your own kids. You get a whole new fit on the 4th of July.
Right.
He gonna remember that shit like Easter for his whole life, man.
Right.
Did you do anything, or was it just like, yeah, whatever?
We made tacos. It was Taco Tuesday over here.
Okay.
So
okay.
It was a regular day, you know.
Right. Feliz Navidad and whatnot.
That's why I was asking, was y'all grilling or something in the group? I wasn't sure if y'all was out here, you know, perpetrating.
Nah, I'm telling you, I was
thinking maybe you was grilling more than
I was in full bloom. I smoked up the whole block. I had all kinds of shit on the grill. My family, we do private cookouts now. I used to do a lot of public shit, and I never reaped the rewards or benefits from it. So now they're exclusive. So you almost got to have a pass key to get to a cookout. Everything I grill, we eat as a family. Nobody gets to take home plate. So that's why I don't usually call people. And we like really don't be wanting people at our house. It's a whole kind of antisocial thing that we got in common. It's very weird.
I feel that too. I don't want people in my crib too. That's why I always offer y'all a crib. But
right, it'd be like, yeah, why don't you cook and shit? Like, nah, why don't you? Oh man, you know. I ain't got all my shit unpacked yet. You have black people be lying and shit. I still got boxes in the living room.
Like, I ain't been 5 years, motherfucker. For a barbecue or something.
Yeah.
Because I say y'all, I ain't
that room. Jesse, he says Philly and Baltimore both. I'm missing the state. I'm missing the first part of that. He said, to the hell with the 4th of July. Our ancestors were slaves. Absolutely, they were. Yes. Some people would say they still are. I don't know.
They still are. 13th Amendment.
He says, I love Juneteenth. That's our actual Independence Day. And December 6, 1865, when the Emancipation Proclamation was ratified. Is that our liberation? Is that the date of our liberation?
I mean,
that's Jesse. Some people would argue on the accuracy of that. I mean, see, black people go find
that's the day motherfuckers in Galveston, Texas, was put up on game that they was free. You know, but
2 years after the Emancipation.
2 years after, everybody was free before that shit. Right. They just got put up on game, and we all celebrate that they got put up on game.
How you niggas still got these chains on and shit? Y'all know we ain't got to wear that shit no
more. What you mean we been free?
That's what it was about right there.
Hey, you know that's where
tell them niggas they free. Don't tell them niggas they free.
Look, we're innovators in language. So you notice that's where that phrase came from when they first told the first black man, like, you know, we free. Said, you bullshit. You bullshit. Man, I'm finna go home and show my ass. Wait, where we gonna live today? Oh shit. Alexandria, she said we be calling chips crisps and fries chips. I can agree to an extent that July 4th is significant for us. There you go. I love it when we start thinking outside the box. I love it. It is significant. Okay. Jesse said he didn't spend no money yesterday. I couldn't stop spending money for like 5 days straight. She said, I'm not about to wear any red, white, and blue, though, for a country that can't even treat their black veterans correctly. It's so much conflict with saying happy whatever to America for black people. We have a very fucked up relationship with America. That has to be said. It's a very complicated relationship. I always say it's like an abusive relationship. Yeah. Where this girl, she just look all the shit she done to you. She done pimped you, enslaved you, beat you, sick dogs on you, kicked you out of your house, bombed your community, and y'all still end up getting back together after, no matter what. So this is really an abusive relationship between Black America and Black people. He said, Dion said, I don't wear shit red, white, and blue. I tend not to wear red because I'm a big dude and I'll end up looking like Suge Knight or Gilbert Brown or Hey Kool-Aid or somebody. I do wear the color blue a lot. It's one of my favorite colors. right?
Hey, Mr. Kool-Aid.
Right. Like, what the fuck Kev got on? Why doesn't he Death Row Records? So no, I don't wear red like that. I've never owned a red suit. That's funny. Earl says the food is the only reason I'm with it. They see
Man,
there's the
look.
significance.
Yes.
It's gonna be something to eat that day.
Mm-hmm.
People got plates. Come on through
Everybody
here.
like to eat, goddammit.
There's fellowshipping that's done amongst us as black people. That is significant.
Yeah.
Families go from out of town. We're gonna be up there for the 4th. Wait a minute. Why the fuck are you coming up here from Alabama on the 4th? If this holiday has no significance to us.
No, it's because we all got that free time. Don't act like that's not what we all have the same free time, except
we off work.
Real when you at work.
And those people made us all let us be off work today.
Right. Master say we can go visit the next plantation. It's significant then. It's a celebration, bitches. I'm just saying. It's he said, but fuck the 4th. Let's talk about this affirmative action. All in good time, my man. I love when people tell me what the fuck to talk about. Okay, talk about like I didn't know you were a co-host. Apologies to you. Before I even talk about the evil that the white men do as we speak, I want to talk about the violence in Milwaukee before that, Dion. So slow down, bro. As I stated, 15 people shot, 1 perished in a 4-day span. There's an extension of Juneteenth Day in which 6 people were shot, right? 6 or 7. There's absolutely no plan to be able to curb violence in this city right now. And it's so sad that anytime there's a gathering of people, there's going to be an issue. Like how many years? Every year we go all the way back to the goddamn Deer District. And before that, first of all, they was fighting at Juneteenth 20 years ago. They was fighting. Youngsters with white t-shirts on. Okay. So you know what's going to happen, but you still have no plan.
But Kevin's different though. It's different. Like you said, youngsters with white t-shirts fighting. We used to definitely get into fights. You know what I'm saying? But now, like I talked to a teenage girl that was down where that 15-year-old got shot. And it wasn't a fight. It was they were all standing around doing their teenage thing. And some boy said, hey, somebody playing the op music. I'm finna go pop him. And went over there and shot him in the head over what the fuck he was playing. Like it wasn't a fight. It wasn't a, this shit is wild. It's a different type of fucking insanity. Like it's different.
I would agree with that. I would agree that there's a level of aggression in our children right now that's I don't know, since I can remember. I seen it a lot when I was young, but it wasn't as commonplace as it is right now, I guess you could say. Like back in the days, you knew maybe 1 or 2 dudes out the whole hood who was really just crazy like that. Now it'd be like 9 of them. And so like, damn, who the fuck do I arrest? So I think maybe the police are confused. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for them because the leadership of this city, I just told y'all a couple of weeks ago that we have already, they do these polls and these measures and all this kind of stuff. And they said, what are the best places to live versus the worst place, best place to raise a family? Milwaukee was determined to be one of the worst run cities in the country. And so election time is coming. There's a bunch of reasons. The reason I named the show Barbecue and Mildew is because if you actually know what that, and that's something that we say, I don't know how commonplace it is in other places. I know in Milwaukee, we say that a lot, barbecue and mildew. I don't know. I know his baby Drew has had the music and he had an album or a song called that, but it's something that we use commonly.
I first heard it on Pimps Up, Hoes Down. Pimp and Ken told a chick to hoe up or blow up, barbecue or mildew.
Okay. There you go. They say let your next move be your best move, and right? All smooth, right? Shout out to Pimp and Ken. He was in the hospital too, so I hope he's Doing
I'm
better.
gonna be
He's
doing
been
all
on
right.
the
I
show.
seen him. Yeah, I
He's
seen
been
him
on
in
the
the
show.
hospital.
Right. So I'm saying, like, even if we look at the city right now, there's a whole bunch of reasons to get involved with politics. We're gonna connect all of that tonight. And when we say barbecue and mildew, you say the barbecue part is either we getting it on, we doing what we need to do, it's cracking, or we sitting around watching this shit rot and
Stagnant.
mildew and just taking it for what it is and just chilling. That's the significance of the saying. And right now, I think we have barbecue and mildew point in Milwaukee because there has to be something that can be done to at least curve some of this shit, right? And so I want to talk about that tonight. And that's connected to what's going on with these crazy ass Republicans who all of a sudden have put America in a fucking time machine and taken us back 75 fucking years. All right. How you doing, Miss Evans? Sharon Evans. She said what's going on.
Peace,
Significant
peace.
is the fact that we are not under British rule. Okay. She said that. No more of that. I also love the 4th of July because
Yeah.
it brings joy to my heart seeing black folks filled with glee. Shout out to Alexandria. Dion said, bro, we indoctrinated with the bullshit. There's no way around it. Okay, I know Paris gonna get it together when you start talking about his data. Since 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. However, the black people of Galveston, Texas, found out June 19, 1865, after the grant. So after the war was over, because it ended in 1865, correct? If we're playing with dates, I don't know. Or are we playing with dates? He said, so what can we do to solve the problem with the violence? We have to get to that because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna be able to give you an answer on this show that everybody gonna be like, yeah, Kev, that's it. Because everybody got a different opinion on what needs to be done. We still ain't free in 2023, however the story goes. We continue to fight. The fight continues, as they say. Mama Jenkins said, KB, there's no solutions and no leadership in this city. Okay. She said it's the hot Cheeto dust. Andrew Brewer said hot Cheeto dust.
It might
People in
be.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin don't even know how much to love. Okay. Let me see. What else, man? Popping in the chat room.
That
Shout out to
red
Beauty
40 will
Waddington. You
do
just
it.
had a birthday, didn't you, Beauty? She said Milwaukee is the best place we need for the real people to stop talking. Action is better. Okay. Bless you. Okay. Okay. Sharon said, don't start real. She
What
said,
I
don't.
do? What I do?
I don't know what you did. I've been trying to catch up with the chat room, so sometimes I'd be behind. So we got a caller coming in. Absolutely. Get that right away. Let me guess. Dion, what's popping with you? Hold on once. Pause once. Dion, pause once. I don't know if Bluetooth is Bluetoothing. Yeah, I got you. What's going on? No. I'm talking about mine. That could have been me because I still had you on YouTube. So can you hear me better now? Hold on, let's start this over. I gotta make sure we connected. I didn't check my Bluetooth before I started the show. But so yeah, it should be okay. Okay. I didn't fuck up too bad. And I'm known to do that. Dion, hit us back. My bad. I had to make sure my connection was savvy. Yeah, so where we were talking about what we gonna do about the problem. The problem is that they make it seem like our kids are the only ones, right? And I know ours are, but white kids is wilding out too, right? White kids are wild. They don't get the press that ours get because they dealing with an opioid epidemic that's ransacked them. So they keep them cameras off of them, right? So I know it's not just our kids, but our kids have some very serious issues. Dion, I think I got you now. Can y'all hear Dion?
Are you better now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we good to go, Dion. We good. What's happening with you?
Nothing. Like far as with that crime thing, like I'm gonna be honest with you, Kev. I really don't think nobody can come up with a solution to crime because we have to understand this is not an organized thing. This is individual spats. So say you and this nigga get into it, then me and another nigga get into it, then some real another nigga. It's 5 or 6 people with different things getting into it around the city. The police can't be everywhere at once though. You feel what I'm saying? The only reason people really focusing on the crime like that and looking at it is by the number of people that got shot. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, 15 people got shot, 1 or 2 died. Okay, that's life. You don't understand what I'm saying? Like literally. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. No, seriously though, like it ain't nobody becoming immune to it. It's just what can they do if you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different altercations going on? Maybe, like you said, like you guys always say, maybe the OGs can step in like, Shorty, man, come on, don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Let that nigga live. You know what I'm saying? Be a player about the situation, man. You go to the joint and all that. You know what I'm saying? Try to talk a person out. But in all actuality, man, you know what I'm saying? The police, even if it'll have to be every police for every citizen to live in the city of Milwaukee. I mean, I got my own police. You got your own police.
Nah,
you
man.
understand what I'm saying? For the police to be everywhere at one time, man. I don't think it like say for go ahead.
I think it's micro versus macro. Because I think the crime is a direct result of some other things, such as poverty. And I think if you came up with programs to combat poverty, you start chipping at the source of what causes crime. I don't care what color the people are. I don't care what race they are. If you take the poorest of them and put them together within 5, 6, 7 mile radius of each other, that's going to be fucking dysfunction, right? I mean, you've almost created a zone, like, a zone for po folks. And within that whole area is a bunch of shit that perpetuates poverty, like crooked corner stores, fucked up food sources, no real retail property. And so, yeah, it becomes like, damn, this is a shithole. Nobody wants to touch it. You build around it until you can gentrify it. So I do think there's something that can be done, but it's nothing that's going to be overnight. There's a systematic nature to this, right? Because we keep saying, everybody's made this point a million times on the show. This system isn't broken. It's doing what it's supposed to do, right? It's fucking people up. People don't understand that Hmongs are in the Black community coming up, right? They coming right up under us, just like we allowed the Arabs to in the early 80s. And you look at who really occupies our community in terms of the Koreans do the hair stores, the Arabs do everything gas station wise. You got Arabs with their hands deeply in real estate and with the food even, right? So they have come in and just bow, and now you got these Hmongs coming in, but they're typically doing their own thing, but they're gonna be owning property. So so it's not their communities ain't having this problem necessarily. I'm sure they kids fuck up.
But I think it's more with them solidarity. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Solidarity and respect and things like that. See, in our community too much, unless we're part of a certain organization, we don't have no solidarity. And the respect is all the way gone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you see a little shorty will see you, and back in the day, like when I seen an OG, and I'll be like, man, bro, on something. You know what I'm saying? Let me chill out. You know what I'm saying? Because all he gonna do is talk, is try to talk me out of it. That's why I'm glad that one of my guys, when I first moved up here from the shop, because I came up here to straight on gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, woo woo. But Milwaukee wasn't built like Chicago was, and my guy, he pulled me like, like, look, either you gonna be a gangster, or you gonna get this money. You know what I'm saying? Well, I like getting money. I like what money brought. I want no big time moving key drug dealer out here, but nigga was eating though. You know what I'm saying? Eating real good though. I can't complain. And like I said though, so unless the juveniles, and I don't think they'll ever get respect no more, because I remember it used to be back in the days, like if you had a name for yourself, people would kind of respect you. But these little guys out here, they don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? And I just can't put.
They don't care what we think. They only care what they think. They have their own kind of culture. They have their own language. They have their own value system. However fucked up we may think it is, and we keep saying, well, back in the old days, that's over. It's water under the bridge, and it ain't gonna never be like it was, because it ain't even what it had been before that when I was out there. It's old players then, you say, man, y'all, I come up in the 70s. You niggas don't know nothing about getting no money. And it's like, all right, you take this 2 for 15 and move on. Let me catch my chat room.
I agree with you.
Let me catch my chat room.
Yeah, man, let me jump up off here, man, before somebody drop a dime on me.
Yeah, you won't want that. I don't want nobody drop a dime, right? Don't drop dimes. Alexandria said, I don't think any amount of therapy or connecting with the ancestors that'll fix these kids now. I think we need to take matters into our own hands. Shout out to my homeboy, Ewok the Great. My bad. Faux pas. That was my bad. I'm so used to gonging people. My brother will be 50 years old tomorrow. He says he's an OG outlaw. That's what he is. Absolutely. Man, happy birthday. Welcome to another congratulations on completing another year around trip around the sun, as they say. Let me see what else we got. Beauty says she says Chinese and Latinos are taking over, and Hispanic kids. Erica Hunt, how you doing, my sister? Welcome to the show. Alexandria Brewer said you talking to the loose and Burmese auntie. What is the loose and Burmese
Laos.
auntie? Huh?
I think that's probably Laos, ain't it? Like the Laotians.
She said you talking. Oh shit, I'm ignorant as fuck. She said you talking the Laos and Burmese. Oh, okay. I'm like, damn, was she talking about a burlap sack? I'm so damn country. Fuck me. I don't, the Laos, that's who the Hmong are. I don't know.
No, they get mad and shit.
Yeah,
That's like calling a Mexican a Puerto Rican and shit. Laos.
Oh, they ain't the same either.
No,
Hmong people got mistreated in Laos. They got kicked out of Laos for helping like the Americans and shit during some war.
Right, but at the end of the day, they all Laotian, right? Laotian, right?
No, Hmongs is a specific group of people.
They different,
but they just happen to be living in Laos at the time.
Yep.
Okay.
They all speak different. I remember at work once a Hmong chick was talking to me. I asked another dude. I was like, "What's she saying?" He's like, "I don't know. I ain't Hmong." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Damn, my bad.
My bad.
Yeah,
all y'all spoke Chinese. That's how dumb we are. I thought all y'all spoke Chinese.
Hell no.
all Spanish people speak Spanish, right? Like, no, come on. Beauty, you couldn't understand Dion. Dion has a very distinctive Milwaukee. When I talk to Dion, it sounds like I'm talking to one of my homeboys, because that's how almost all my guys talk, right? Like, so if I go back to the hood and start having a conversation with them, all of them almost they all sound the same, like they have that thing. So it's funny. She said, I don't understand what he's saying. Sharon Evans said the police ain't nowhere. I hardly ever see a police officer or a car unless there's a community event. Oh, that there may be some truth to that. Are the police policing? And I'm not saying they're not. If you have any kind of inside information, please let me know, because I don't want to be on here talking shit about somebody and they out here, And I get what Dion was saying too. It's so much shit going on that it's like, damn, we just left a shooting. It's 5 more, right? So they're running. But maybe there should be something proactive put in place. But then we start talking about increasing their presence in the community and borderline over policing. And we know what happens when you got nervous white boys who really ain't from the turf in the hood in the dark. Black people get shot. That's what happens, right? I fear for my life. I bet you did. You ain't never seen this shit in Oconomo Walk, where you grew up at. Beauty says, what school was the best school in Milwaukee? Come on, we already know that. Come on. We know what the best school in this city is. It's King, right? Come on, man. Well, I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody would even ask that question. Like, what? Right. Not even say somebody argue with me and tell me their school was better. Like, it might have been more fights at your school, but our school was better than yours. Crime was done when I gave up those PPP loans. When they gave up the PPP loans. Well, that was a new level of crime. She said Washington. Okay.
Niggas learned some new shit then.
Right. Yeah, they thought they was gonna be able
to we was talking about crime or whatever, then we was talking about how being systemic. The thing about with systemic shit is it changes how you think, right?
Right.
So we always talk about how we got to work on ourselves. We got to work on the way we think, man. We got to start changing some of this shit in ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we want to put an end to crime, everybody got to put the bullshit up, man, and just start figuring ourselves out, man, and working some shit out in ourselves. It ain't about what can we do that's gonna stop everybody from doing shit. The only thing that's gonna stop people from doing shit is the people making these decisions.
Yeah, shit. A lot of people making bad decisions.
Yeah,
Apparently.
yep. And hey, man, hey, look, and a
All
lot
at
of
the
people
same
got
time.
fucked, and a lot of people got fucked up in this systemic shit over
Right.
the years. You know what I mean?
And the systematic nature of it too, which
Yeah,
absolutely would have to be addressed. Like because like I said, there's a machine set up. It's a setup for sure.
right.
And people keep saying they see it, but we still keep falling victim to it over and over.
Right.
She said St. Sebastian School was the best school. I've never even heard of that. Is that in Milwaukee? What city are
It's
you in?
not private. Shit, I
Right,
don't know.
right. And that yeah, right.
It's definitely a private school. Private, you know, one of them open choices or something.
Shit, you got Saint in front of it. You got to pay some money to go to that motherfucker.
Yeah, or do some type of other.
Now, y'all had nuns. I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Shabaka says, greeting outlaws from Las Vegas. How you doing,
Peace.
my brother?
Peace.
Right? There's a direct correlation between poverty and crime. I believe so, Jesse.
Paul Anderson.
I believe there's poverty is a motherfucker, as they say. Mama Jenkins said public announcement tomorrow at 5:30. There's a meeting to discuss the state revenue. It's going to be at the Clinton Rose Center. And it's given by some of the aldermen.
But they not killing other teams because they broke. You know what I'm saying? We say poverty. I mean, but they not killing the other teams because they trying to snatch something out their pockets or get some money or nah. So
no, not on that level. Once again, that's why I say it's micro and it's macro.
We have this fucked up mindset.
Well, it's that because you know if you're talking about 3 or 4 generations of poverty, this is dysfunctional. Like this is if we just been our family just been dirt poor struggling for the last 70 years. My uncles, my aunties, my father, my mama. It is a mentality. It becomes kind of like a lifestyle, and it's hard to break the cycle because the positive reinforcement that you need to escape that shit is not there. You see what I'm saying? So no, it ain't kids killing each other because they broke. It's because they're growing up with a certain mentality. They're being given a certain kind of energy. At home for a lot of these kids is not what I experienced. It's not, what I think we may have all experienced it, at least in small amounts of you have a home, you have order in your house, your mama run the house, you go in there, you do, now you get in trouble, you get your ass whooped, but I'm saying you ate, you had somewhere to stay, you didn't have to worry about paying the bills, this type of shit. We have kids who from the day they can talk, got to learn how to fucking hustle just to survive. And I'm not giving them an excuse because there's plenty of kids who fight back against that. But I'm saying when you start fighting poverty, there's less poor people. People start to break the cycle. So that mentality starts to fade. And that's hopeful. That's hopefully, what they say, wishful thinking. He said, Sean Mo, he said, what's the word, outlaw? Sean Mo, what it do, my brother? How you doing? Earl said, anybody can get it nowadays. Yes. Beauty Waddington said King is not. I believe you went to Custer, correct? That's why you're saying that, right? Come on, you went to Custer. Hamilton, South Side. Oh, boo-hoo.
Man,
Nothing on the South Side is the best.
Ain't nothing wrong with Hamilton,
found out where Hamilton was this year. I
done been there too, man. I done been there too, man.
Come on, man. Nothing on the South Side is the greatest anything, unless you say is over there now.
I ain't saying it was the greatest, but it was the shit when I was there. I tell you that.
It's damn near on Alaska. I went to middle school across the street from there.
If the kid was
Siberia.
there.
She said King is terrible now. Well, I'm from the 90s, so we was the shit when I was there. I don't know about now. Well, I was the shit. I don't know about the rest of the school. My bad. She said, I'm asking 2017. Oh, still King. MPS wise, what school's better than King now? Academically, what? Oh, you please don't say Riverside. You say Reagan, maybe on the South Side. I thought y'all was talking about overall.
That's Reagan for sure. Yep.
Reagan is doing the damn thing.
Yep.
Academically, kids are coming out of there doing great things. If you're looking at MPS schools, you got Reagan, then you got King. Riverside used to be Holland, but that's kind of going by the wayside. They need
it's wild there.
New leadership. Do you know it'd be 30 to 40 police officers to do the investigation after the fact? Right, that doesn't sound very efficient. She said they need to be terrorizing Whitefish Bay then, not Sherman.
I always said this. They always want to go through the hood and shit. No, motherfuckers go through Wauwatosa, go through Sherwood and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's the last time you ever had to worry about them too.
Right.
Ain't that kind of sad that black people have that kind of fear? Like, I'll rob anywhere except Wauwatosa.
Right.
Like, you would think they'd be like, that's where we going.
You know?
You would
we'd rather
think,
fuck each other up.
We're just gonna fuck our people up.
That's one of the problems. Like, we say we don't want a higher police presence, but the reality is, because we've been conditioned and indoctrinated, so a lot of motherfuckers don't look at other black folks as authority. Like even when I come with my facts and shit, if I come with an expert opinion from a nigga and then come with a white person, they gotta see that white representation of authority. A lot of people, so it's a catch-22 because we say don't bring more of a police presence, but a lot of motherfuckers don't even view other black people as an authority. But then the second thing is, if we really want this shit to get better, we gotta come together and figure out what we really want and what we willing to give. Just like at that Juneteenth shit. Like they said, motherfuckers standing in between them and the police talk about don't do this, but then people get shot and we like what the police was doing. Like we double-minded. Like the Bible said, double-minded person can't get nowhere. Like what the fuck do you want? And what the fuck are you willing to give? You got to understand that there's gonna be collateral damage if you really want to see some shit cleaned up. And we got to understand that every demon out here is somebody's angel. So we got to be okay with saying, hey, some motherfuckers gonna get took out of here, and evidently it's part of the cleanup process.
Right.
And we got to be okay with that if we want to see this shit clean.
People who would argue you're saying it's a cleanup process, but it's genocide. It's being executed.
Hey, cancer is cancer. Cancer is cancer, man. Okay. And there's walking, breathing, living cancer cells out there that's infringing on the safety of productive people.
Okay. Habitual line steppers. I totally agree with you. She said they, meaning the government, is taking the structure out of the home. Yeah, the black family structure is in shambles. Come on. Like, I mean, it used to be, and see, this is what I was saying about the 4th of July for me, because I was one of those kids who grew up with the new fit on for the 4th of July. Get the fireworks. I don't know. My mother may have had us with some USA shit on, right? And I mean, we talking about somebody who grew up picking cotton. She was a former, sharecropper, and she'd be like, "No, we going out. We're going all out. We would be the family to go to Mississippi." See, I've been in Mississippi on July 4th, right? Like, and so my family was big on that, and we kind of that sense of family. I don't think it was really about America being free, because I never heard nobody saying nothing patriotic. It was more about us being together. Everybody off work.
Right.
Everybody got a little money. It's in the middle of the summer. You see your cousins who you ain't seen. You see Big Mama. And that's how we knew our whole family growing up, because those adults would say, "Come here, boy. Meet your great auntie." And you go up there, you be like, that motherfucker's old as Benjamin Banneker. But apparently it's my cousin somehow, right? But so later on, when your mama said, "Well, that's so and so kids," remember the time I introduced you, say, "Oh yeah, okay." So you can recognize family. They don't have that on. And so I think that has to do with right now why they feel like we don't give a fuck about each other. Like, shit, you might be shooting your own
family. They not close to their own family. How can they look at the next brother like a brother? You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue. Or they may know their family. Like I said before, how you gonna be shit if your parents ain't shit? Like, it's people like, take me to jail, my daddy there, my brother there. It's gonna be a family reunion. Like,
that's not something that's big to them. Like, well, shit. I mean, my uncles all them been to prison,
right?
My father's. Now, every now and then you get this jewel who comes out of that and says, "I didn't want to do that," or "I want to take care of my mother," or whatever. But it's not common. It's the exception, not the norm. Dion says, "Bull, I remember you was with the dogs." He said he was a gorilla. Okay, he was a gorilla.
But I also, when I think about these about families, when it comes to the music they listen to, shit, the music and the videos be telling them to go kill their motherfucking brother, they cousin, they woo.
Right.
So they definitely don't. Even if we are family, they don't give a fuck about killing you. It's like, oh well, pussy nigga, wow.
Yeah, I ain't blaming all that on the music no more, though. I see a lot of manny shit on TV and online where you don't even got to listen to no fucking music.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere. Roger Zeladon, my partner, Westside Zeladon. How you doing, my partner? Good seeing you this past weekend. We got to chop it up and have a good time, listen to some Ohio players and talk about how old we is.
I want to be free.
Right. All that good, man. I love Ohio players, man. Man. For real.
They be jamming, man. Did y'all play Fox? That's one of my favorites.
That shit is a movie. He said poverty, single parenthood, dysfunction, and street shit has always been here. The home-like structures is less than before. Okay. Right. Yeah, you're right. Bullshit been bullshit on top of bullshit. Said Golda is the best school in NPS. I disagree. My kids both just graduated from. You know what? I ain't gonna disagree. For a middle school, high school wise, I took them out. My daughter went to King, of course. I took my son out of NPS for high school, so he's been in Milwaukee Lutheran, and I would say Milwaukee Lutheran educationally is better than Golda. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Alexandria Brewer said that's why we need to start blasting mofos. Oh, we need to start shooting at them, right?
Like, I want to like my kid. Like, I feel it. I was like, I ain't gonna like it publicly. So, might come back to haunt me. Of course, you agreed with the blasting motherfuckers, didn't you? Like,
I ain't gonna put that energy out there. I'm just gonna say we gotta be okay, understanding that some people gonna be excommunicated off this realm type shit.
If you ain't been following our show when we had brother who had now Emmy winning documentary when Claude got shot, and we had him on here. We had the producer. I forget my sister's name. Damn.
Oh man.
Get her name. She brought him on here just before it even won the Emmy. And he talked about what happened to the youngster who shot him. He ends up getting shot by a lady trying to steal another car a couple weeks later, and he's paralyzed. Right. And so you talk about, shooting and do we agree with blasting them? But what's the solution? I mean, it's got to be some tough love. That's why I'm saying I'd rather have mandatory minimums for them as opposed to seeing people just letting loose on them. Because at the end of the day, they still kids, and you don't want to see a 16, 15-year-old get gunned down about a car. Right. But at the same time, these kids got to learn you just can't take people shit. You just can't do what you want to do. That's not how life is.
I'm done arguing that whole point, man. Because every time I ask somebody, well, what do we do then?
Right.
Ain't nobody got no answer.
Got a goddamn thing to say.
Well, I'm done arguing that point.
Right. Let me see. Chat room popping. She said, right, Rail, they still think white is good and right. Yeah, because even with a job,
they're indoctrinated. It's
when you get a job, and I've done this being in management before, when you walk in, it's like, oh man, you the new supervisor? Yeah, brother named Kev. Now I'm supposed to understand you coming in late. I'm supposed to understand.
Right. I was about to be a party. You got a black supervisor.
Right. It's like, man, what are you tripping, man? But if it's Peter, who's a white dude, motherfuckers getting in line, like, man, Peter don't play. Right. You're like, damn, they feel so comfortable, much more comfortable with him snapping the whip. It's something you gotta fight through.
You gotta blame Jesus,
She said sometimes you gotta meet crazy with crazy, and I hate to see him collide. Like I know that's factual. That's what's more or less gonna start happening. But what it's gonna be is police will start, if we really want them to be hardcore policing, they'd have to shoot a lot of these kids.
Yep.
Because of their behavior. Like they don't revere, like we used to. Honestly, I'm fucking talk about how hard shit was back in the days. You did not fuck with the police. Didn't fuck with them. Pull you over. They run up on us in the hood. They talking shit to us. I had some partners who fuck you. Boop, right upside the head. Oh shit! I told you to shut up, man. I mean, So now these kids, police, fuck 12. You see, when it got hot and the police was in there, girls were twerking on the car, and I said, these goddamn kids are crazy. Now, if we want the police to get out with sticks like they would have done, see, I grew up during the Harold Breyer era, the Bull Connor of the North.
Man, they whooped our ass.
Them Polish police, Officer Winarski and Winowicki, They would have cut out sticks.
Kowalski and shit.
Right, Officer Kowalski. Them motherfuckers have been went to swinging them motherfuckers. It would have been blood everywhere.
Right.
So
right.
once again, the question is, how much do we turn up the police? If we are as taxpayers saying we want you motherfuckers to do something, because when man jump out the car with his pistol running and he gets shot, then are we gonna burn the community down? We gonna march again? It's gonna be. I mean, you gotta look at what I'm saying. These kids are putting themselves in the shadow of death. And when
that's why we gotta meet and figure out what we want and what we willing to give, because that's gonna be that. I mean, and honestly, that may be the quickest way to a solution. I mean, I ain't saying they all get dealt with, but if enough see like, oh, they ain't playing out here now. Let us sit our ass home.
Matter. Stop that bullshit.
Would it even matter now? Kamar, honestly, I'm not so sure that these kids might take up the challenge and be like, well, we ain't fucking playing either. Because once again,
hey, listen. Hey, Kev, well, then at that point, that's on them and the police to figure out. That ain't our job.
When we had that one cat who was out here trying to get Stolies back, then there was actual kids that was stealing these cars. Like, hey, I'm strapped just like he's strapped. And I think he ended up in jail, didn't he, for shooting?
Yeah, he shot him. He going to court now and shot and paralyzed a little girl. Like, this is the shit. That's what I'm. Thank you for even referencing that. Call in 262-202-5131.
Forgot about his ass. Trying to say
between a rock and a hard place, a motherfucker trying to make a difference, and he in jail.
Yeah, it's Outlaw Radio, man. Barbecue and Mildew. What you want to do on a Wednesday night? How you feel? Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's Outlaw Radio in the building. I got the Ghetto Witch Doctor. I got Ralphie Still Skin, and I got the Juice Lady with me tonight. We mobbing on a hump day. And so that's a question. We can leave that right there for all the geniuses out there who know much more than any of us know. Let's let them answer that, and then we'll come back to it, because I definitely want to talk about these crazy ass Republicans. Jesse says, gotta have a white seal of approval to take it as truth. Scratching my damn head. When we said they don't want to hear it, but Paleface say the exact same something, they take it as gospel truth.
It ain't their fault though. It's indoctrination. And they've been, look, we give our kids to be, man, shit. I got a 4-year-old daughter who keeps saying, Daddy, am I starting school in September? Like, she don't know September, but she said, am I starting school when my other daughter go back? And I'm like, baby, you 4. Just be a kid. I said, once these motherfuckers got you, they got you for 12 years, teaching you to sit still and listen to somebody that probably don't look like us. So we can't blame motherfuckers for being indoctrinated on it. They go to school and church. The authority figures are white.
Yeah, I mean, at least they ain't getting that Italian Jesus picture, the son of the Pope.
Caesar Borgia.
Oh, forever. This is Jesus. This dude is the whole Italian. Like
and you know that you ever heard the story behind that shit? That's some diabolical shit.
Yeah, the popes was the first mob bosses. Let me stop. I get in trouble. Let me stop. Allegedly.
That's allegedly who people pray to is Jesus. That was Cesare Borgia, who father made them paint him as Jesus.
I know the story. Look, game been going on a long time over people's heads, man. If I can make you believe some shit and pay me, I'm the one, right? I'm that dude. That's the name of the game. It ain't just America. America didn't invent that. Sharon Evans, you 100% correct. Mississippi on the 4th of July, from my memory as a child, it ain't just mosquitoes. It's red bugs, it's red ants, it's horse flies, it's snakes, it's armadillos.
Roaches and shit.
Wild cat
forever. Damn.
Listen, I ain't seen one since Mississippi. That motherfucker just walking down the road. You like, damn.
Right.
I see that shit on National Geographic. I'm from the city. So my family's from down there. So I spent almost a unnatural amount of time in Mississippi growing up as a child. That's why I don't go now. My whole family hate me for it. Like, you don't bring your ass? I'm like, no, I'm good. Dion said, when I was talking about the family and you go out, you go to your family reunions, you get to see people. Said, your fine ass cousin that you wish wasn't your cousin. Right, man.
That's an excellent point, though. Because we aren't as close with family, or because everybody got a sneaky link, like it's all the more important to know who your family is, so you ain't fucking family. Look, I just met a sister that I didn't know existed like 2-3 years ago, and she the same age as my lady now. So it's like, damn, like. Thank God ain't shit happened, but you was in the same clique of people.
You in 502 back in the days, I'd have tore you up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, make sure your kids meet your other kids, and make sure them cousins meet each other.
But you know, that makes it even more mania if the kid don't know himself. I never met my daddy. What you talking about? My mother died when I was 8. I was in foster care, or I went from home to home. I got shifted from family member to family member. I don't know who the fuck that is. You say this your cousin. You say, oh, all right, I guess we family. I mean, it's a lost thing. It's a lost thing. Mama Jenkins said you said the magic word family. Yeah, back in the days, people didn't know who the hell family is. You found out. In my family, you found out. She said, I really think this is Alexandria. She said, I really think the Black Southern values was helping us. I came out decent because of my snuff dipping grandmother. Yes. Sharon Evans says sweet sticky thing by the Ohio Players. Man, that's one of them. Woo, that's one of them joints right there. Man, that in heaven must be like this. Boy, I tell you, that make a bullshit day feel dandy. For real. I fucks with that. Jesse Perry says somebody got to break the cycle, KB. You right. You're absolutely right, Jesse. Kill or be killed is the mentality, Earl. When you got 15 people shot in 4 days, I know Dion said, well, you know, that's just how shit is. It ain't supposed to be like that.
Dion the fool.
Dion is the wild one, man. Dion cracks me up, man. You can tell he definitely from shot because 15 people ain't supposed to get shot in 4 days. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's just like Milwaukee ain't big. We're mostly on the north side. That was a couple south side shootings. There was, because the South Side is having some issues too. A lot of people won't let it touch them, but it is what it is. That's why I said it ain't just our kids. It ain't just our kids. We already know the myth of black crime. Black on black crime was made up anyways because they skewed the numbers by including Latino crimes, by just kind of putting them under, okay, that's under black crime. So the black on black crime and the statistics are all skewed anyways. So it's all people. Just people fucking each other up. Alexandria said they obviously don't care about us people because a few kids tried robbing my 89-year-old grandmother.
Damn.
Yeah, that's some wolf pack shit. The wolves is out, man.
Well, shit, remember they was going around beating homeless people to death like shit 20 years ago?
Yeah, you just seen the young brother who was convicted of shooting the corn man on the south side, the old Mexican brother who used to walk around for years with the corn cart.
When the fuck did this happen?
This happened a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. He just got convicted. Yeah, another one bites the dust. She said, "Stop making it black and white." Okay.
What part?
Right.
I don't know. She said, "Sadly, it's." Alexandria says, "Sadly, it is black and white."
It is.
Right. I don't know.
Black people in a white system, and shit, motherfuckers in an unnatural environment and system are going to act unnaturally.
Zeladon said the kids ain't going to jail. There's no consequences. And over again, we do see that once again, we utilize the term a habitual line stepper who already has a bracelet on. He just done this. He just got out. He back out doing it again. Yeah. So then now we come with the hammer that needs to be dropped. I think we might be making some progress, y'all. We might be making some progress on terms of moving towards what the solution needs to be, because I think it needs to be a mixture of all kinds of different things. I think it starts with a new direction for the public school system for kids when they're young to help them establish career paths or career aspirations while they're young, instead of telling them a whole bunch of bullshit lies and made up stories about motherfuckers chopping down cherry trees and all that bullshit.
Right.
And bringing their education up to date, making sure that they are technically able to do some jobs, but I also think there's a spirituality part of it that needs to be implemented into the community, in which I believe the religious community needs to make a real proactive approach to connecting with the communities that their churches are located in. And shout out to the ones that are out there that do it. But a lot of people lock that door at the end of church Sunday, and it ain't nothing that you really, if you say missionary Baptist, what my father used to explain is that means you're actually supposed to go to the people. Now, I'm not religious. I mean, I'm just saying, but there's an
That's what I
economic
thought
part of it.
missionary. That's what I thought missionary was all about.
They start churches.
Getting around, getting out, getting on the
Right.
mission type shit.
Right. So not I'm up. It's dark. Hurry up. Shit. Lock that door. I just think, once again, to have people in the community who are providing resources there. Oh, y'all hungry? Okay, let me feed these kids. Let me go into these houses. Let me deal with these families. That's something that fights poverty as well. And then there's the piece of getting people trained and getting people viable employment. So it becomes a structured thing in what we have to do.
The issue though is one of the issues, because like even when I grew up in church, like I don't fuck with organized religion right now, but I can honestly say the church I went to, El Shaddai Church of God in Christ on the corner of 27th and Chambers, they were proactive in the community doing book bag drives. They had the food pantry, and I helped with the food pantry. And what you will see is even when motherfuckers get help, they still feel like motherfuckers used to come on Sunday. Y'all got a food pantry? Hey, our food pantries is Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. But I tell you what, if you're willing to sit through service after service is over, we'll see what we could do. So we got to sit through service to get some food. So y'all, so it's the resources are there. The mindset of the people is fucked up. Like even now, I work with benefits. And the first thing somebody do when they get on the phone, I've been waiting 2 hours. Okay, help ain't free. You got to pay some kind of way. Sit your ass on this phone and answer this motherfucking application if you want some motherfucking help. Like people just be entitled even when they can't do shit for themselves.
So that's why I said it takes different pieces, because it's almost like learning. Everybody doesn't learn the same way. So that's why I say different pieces have to be implemented. The people who can't necessarily benefit from the church being proactive, who wouldn't take advantage of that, maybe can benefit by some jobs programs or some training programs. Or, I mean, you might be surprised just to find out how many of these people out here in these communities don't even have a GED. That's something that we ain't talked about. That's something that's, and so we got to get in. There's a part, the educational part to it.
The motherfucker that can't sit through class,
to the flag. We all used to pledge to the flag. You had to do it every morning. That was like you had to stand up at the Pledge
of Allegiance.
Yeah. What was that shit all about?
Indoctrination.
Right. Yeah.
And to the republic for which it stands. Like
one nation.
We were indoctrinated into pledging. Think of even the words. You pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, not even the motherfucking United States.
And if you don't, you get in trouble.
Right.
He won't say the pledge.
While you said some shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a choice.
Did y'all see Jill Scott? Did y'all see Jill Scott do her rendition of this? I guess it was at the Essence Festival.
I turned it off midway. It was just for me, it was just too deep and too long. I just cut it off. Like, all right, Jill, I would have rather you did a dope ass poem or something. Okay. But I mean, I'm sure she hit whoever she needed to hit. So more power to her.
Right. I just wanted to see if y'all seen it. I live in the Podverse, so I sees all, right? And after a whole week of having to digest Sexy Red and Suki, I felt like, man, I want to hear Jill Scott sing a little bit,
Yeah, dude. She talking about the blood of the youth. It's like, god damn.
Right. Erykah Badu got her booty out. Janelle Monáe showing her breasts. I'm like, man, can I just get a song?
See, I missed that one.
Right. I mean, I'm, Alexander said jail is like school for them now. Well, jail and school are almost the same now. What they call 2 hots in a cot, right? 2 hot meals. Yep. You got somewhere to be all day. I'm not really
prison pipeline.
Right. They're not really, and that's another thing where they get them ready. You know what it's like.
Prison pipeline. Dr. Umar been saying that shit forever. You go to school and just say no, but then through plans, they, fucking getting Ritalin and shit.
Right. Dope them up. That's one solution. So what's the deterrent to stop these children from shooting and robbing people? Mandatory minimums. We go right back in the circle, Jesse. That's the question. We always end up at that door. Like we got to, well, okay. So one thing I think that's pretty self-explanatory at this point is if you get caught for this, right? Riding a stoley, whatever would have you, there is no you back release with a bracelet. Let's just say for right now, the bracelet does not work. Now people say, well, they're overwhelmed and they don't got the space and all this. Well, you got to create it. because you can't have kids who keep getting out and he had an ankle on his bracelet when he did it. That's like, okay, so in that regard, I think we can all agree that has to stop. Before we even give mandatory minimums or anything, stop that release shit. And I know that has to in the juvenile laws and whatnot. I worked with juvenile probation and I worked with juvenile corrections through Wraparound Milwaukee. I know it's a lot of fucking red tape, but bullshit ain't nothing, man. At this point, you just gotta say stop. Malcolm X said only a fool would allow his oppressor to educate his children. He did say that.
They need like a juvenile HOC. You know what I'm saying? You need something with enough space. And then it ain't like individual rooms in there. It's a big ass area with a whole bunch of motherfucking bunk beds. You know what I'm saying?
They trying to build a max.
But that's just a 32 bed, and that's just to get the kids from where they are that are already incarcerated to bring them down. So it's just enough for those. But no, they need a whole new thing where it's enough for
this jail that they trying to build is supposedly a whole 80. It's supposed to be an actual facility, not no transferring spot. No, you're gonna be there.
Is this a different one from the other one that they building where it's just a 32 bed?
No, yeah, that's something different because this one that they want to build is a 79, I believe. And so, but
I still don't think that's enough. We need something.
Well, they start sending them
the right direction.
Start sending them kids to Oklahoma like they did my family.
Man.
Yeah. Oh shit.
My family was getting sent to
Oklahoma
like motherfucker.
DT in Oklahoma. Damn. Some gotta be done. Sharon says the mayor's brother raped the old lady in Waukesha. Huh? Right. And he got off, didn't he? Sharon said, I bet he got off. I bet he went to jail. I think he got off. Did he get off? Or did he do some time? I thought the mayor's brother got off and people were up in arms about it. Like, how does motherfucker get off?
Yeah, I think he got some bullshit ass time. He didn't just get off, but they slapped his hand.
Somebody Google little short dog's little brother. I'm sorry, I called him short dog. Mayor Johnson. His brother. Right? I know he'd be like, this guy doesn't like me. Always calls me names. Obama 0.2, he calls me. That's my best Obama, y'all. Y'all didn't even respond. Y'all, damn, man.
Oh, that's what that was? I didn't know what. Oh,
sorry you didn't notice, Courtney. I was trying to imitate it.
Sound like that's your code switching voice. That's what it sounds like.
Right. Hey, Kevin. Well, how you doing this morning? And I don't even code switch. It'd be the craziest thing. I don't know how to code switch.
You just did it.
But I was fucking imitating Obama. You called it code switch.
Just know that's your code switch right there. Just put
but when I'm at work, I don't code switch. I talk. Of course, I ain't in there like, yeah, motherfucker, woo, woo, woo. That's not how I really talk anyways. So I just talk normal. I don't, hey, Bill. If Bill come in, I'll be like, what up, Bill? Like, I'm one of them dudes. How y'all doing? Ain't no, hey, guys, and all your cat and all that shit. Like, I be black for real at work. I never understood the whole why you can't, man, come on, man. All you getting is me.
I would love to see that with people in your Obama voice. Hello.
Right.
They be
like, what's wrong with you? That's not even you, right? I'm gonna try that shit. I might get to making more money. Goddamn, y'all might be right. How you guys doing? Right. Love that tiger, right? Beauty Waddington, she said, how when all the kids and adults are in the same schools? Are they? Unless you're at the adult high school in MATC. He said black on black crime is BS. Like there ain't no white on white crime, brown on brown, yellow on yellow. Right. It's some bullshit that they put on us like crack babies.
Right. And crime happens within a certain perimeter of a person's home. And if you live around black folk and you black, more than likely you're gonna be doing criminal activities with black folks.
Yeah, right? I mean, because you know, like I say, you see 2, 3, 4, 5 of us from the hood walking down the street, and you say, "I bet they on some bullshit." Most of the time, they are.
Yeah.
Even if they ain't doing nothing right then, they with the shit. If they see the opportunity, like man, let's walk to the store. On the way to the store, you don't know what the fuck you going. Who's the rapper who say? Walk around the corner, see some shit, and get in it. I was too short. He said, walk around the corner, see some shit, and get in it. Yeah. She said, does the bar owners go out and deal with the community? Some of them do. But I don't think they do it like they used to. Because I know when I was younger and I would go on Atkinson, those old school dudes who own the bars, they would be having like barbecues and cookouts and selling dinners and all that stuff. But people went into the bar then to cash their check and I'm going here and get some stamps from him. I don't know why this dude sold stamps or cigarettes or whatever, the old ass cigarette machines. The people did interact with the bar owner. That's old Smitty who owned whatever, or that's big whoever who owned the bar. So yeah, they did interact with them. I don't know how much they do it now, because really the hole in the wall joint here is, it's kind of passe, with good reason. Shout out to Marla Adams. She said yes. I don't know what you were. Welcome to the show. I said Marla. Is that Maria or Marla? I'm a blind
Maria.
Maria. Shout out to Maria. I'm sorry. I will massacre your name. She said the bar is a business, not the church. That's true, but we talking about everybody who in the community should be all hands on deck. If you don't understand RWS, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understood will confuse you. Nelly Fuller Jr. Hashtag on code. Hashtag codified. Okay.
That's right.
Jesse always with the shits. He's always with the shits. Shout out to
Neely
you, man.
Fuller was talking that shit. Neely Fuller was quoted a lot by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Okay. Roger says start when the kids are young. They sponges, better positive aura than negative auras. And I know it's a new day when my partner talking about auras, because that's my dude.
Hey,
And I know he ain't.
Come on.
Man, we moving on up. If Zeladon said aura, god damn it.
Zels, what up?
Zell's old school Los Angeles. If you don't know, like, for real, come on, you done met the Zells before.
Yeah, I know Zels.
West Side is he old school Los Angeles, South Central for real. So when he started talking about auras, I'm like, that shit's real.
That's a reality though. Up until the year of 7 years old, well, from the third trimester of pregnancy to 7 years of age, children's brainwaves work in a theta brainwave state, which is the same as hypnosis. So they literally downloading everything they see, and even the shit we think that they don't see, or the shit we say to them that we think is nothing. Once they start kicking in and operating off that subconscious that they was downloading, a lot of that shit is a detriment to their mental health. Then they got to learn how to reprogram themselves, and then they get
Erica
my book.
Hunt. What it do? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, real.
That's all good.
Erica. She said there are 9 areas of human activity. This is Jesse Paris, aka Brother Shay. He said there's 9 areas of human activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war that RWS controls globally. Okay.
Racist white supremacists.
Alexandra Brewer said Pound Town. We were talking about the music. Pound Town, man. Good Lord. He said he runs a food bank every Sunday at a senior apartment complex in a once predominantly black neighborhood called Northeastern Park Hill, where he currently lives and spends 6 years of his childhood in. He says, I remember being unhoused and having to go through church service to get food on the streets of Denver. Wow, what an incredible experience. Yeah, that'll get your mind right, or get it off, right? Mess it up. Mama Jenkins said the doors are locked after Sunday service. There's no Bible classes or prayer meetings during the week. Most of these churches are not involved in the community where the church is. There's 3 churches on one block. Yes, Mama Jenkins. Their ministries they're a little bit limited now. And I'm not one to criticize anybody, but and if you are listening to the show and you know somebody out there who's actively involved and you want to even just big up that organization, hit us up, man. We're not against you. We just want to know where you at. Jesse says school to prison pipeline. Yep, your free and reduced lunch number becomes your DOC number. Damn. Dion said he got 12 years. Oh, the mayor's brother got 12 years? Okay. I was wrong. He didn't get off. I thought he skated. Obama 0.2 couldn't help him. No parole? Oh, okay. We'll just get him a TV from Marcus. Can you still get TV from Marcus sent to the joint? I don't know.
that catalog.
Yeah.
That's what we used to send our family.
Hey,
Right.
I don't know if he got 12 years, because that's what the Republicans was talking about, man. That's what they was upset about. Talking about how you got to be the president's son to get treated different, in the court system.
Well, Hunter Biden, he got off. We talking about Mayor Johnson's brother.
Oh, okay. I'm still thinking about Biden. My bad.
Yeah, no. It's a lot going on. I'm glad you said Republican, because it's putting me where I want to go right at this time.
Biden, man, they got like all this You don't see on the news, but this motherfucker was getting paid making all kind of business deals, selling out and shit.
They found cocaine in the White House yesterday and evacuated the White House.
What?
Turns out it was cocaine, powder cocaine in the White House. Look this shit up. Look this shit up. Look it up. They thought it was a biological attack, and they evacuated the whole joint. Find out it was some of that good that powder, that Peruvian flake, right? What the fuck is going on with somebody just sprinkled cocaine in the White House, right?
We already know shit. Joe falling asleep at the podiums and shit, and his son is
dropped the bag.
Dropped
the bag on the couch, Joe. I was asleep. It fell out my pocket. Erica Hunt said, put them Kia boys on the chain gang, picking up trash on 27th. Earl Henny said, whole Wales correctional facilities to close to Milwaukee. Yeah, it was too close to Milwaukee. He said, Wales Correctional Facility too close to Milwaukee.
Why is it too close?
I know, that shit's far.
I mean, I'm saying if it was in Milwaukee, though, like, why would that be too close to Milwaukee? Like, wouldn't we want, like, especially like these are still our kids, like you said, kid. Wouldn't we want our kids to be close to us?
Yeah.
If they're gonna be locked up somewhere, I'd rather they be close to us
in a secure facility, not free to walk around. This ain't. Yeah, this ain't. No.
I would want them to be close, man. At least that way they could get their visits. They may be able to. Maybe easier to develop a support system. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sharon Evans, she said her church helped build Washington High School field. Shout out to your church. Shout out to Washington High School. I coached football at Washington for about 4 years. They needed a field. They needed a field. It was potholes in our practice field.
They got a nice one too.
Yeah, and we just had to put cones in the holes when we have like a JV game. Yeah. You had to put cones to mark the holes so these kids wouldn't break their damn legs. These wasn't regular holes. These was like holes. Like, damn. Yeah. I'm glad, man, they deserve it, man. They deserve it. That area is decimated.
When I went to high school, I used to wrestle freshman year. So that was what, 9, 8, 9, 9. It was a cat. Like whenever we used to love wrestling Washington because we was always cool. Like when we seen them at the tournaments and shit. It'll be King and Washington up there in Germantown and shit, but they had this big old dude named Lee that used to wrestle. Used to be folding motherfuckers up, man. Lee from Washington. I think they
had a bunch of grown parolees going to Washington. They used to play them in football. These dudes used to look like full force, man. In the 80s, man. All them dudes was on probation, man, parole, man.
Damn.
Yeah, that Washington bullshit, man.
He still was a dope wrestler, man.
Right. He probably was going to alternative school and all kinds of shit. They used to have like kids who was in DT playing for him. That shit used to be great.
Unnecessary roughness.
Hardly ever went. Let me stop. I ain't gonna. Let me say. I'm gonna stick to the script. You know, I know them dudes. They should take off their helmets and their kids and wife be coming to them like, "Good game, daddy." You be like, "Man, he ain't even getting on the bus, driving home and shit." What the fuck? This nigga got a part-time job. For real. Work for the city by the day and go to school at night and play football for Washington. Come on, man. Mama Jenkins, thank you for the information. She says he shot a guy, not rape, but he's being retried now because the witness didn't show up. Okay, I knew it was something there that was wild. The witness didn't show up. Okay, we're talking about the mayor's son. Okay, we're talking about the mayor's son. He said, Mama Jenkins said his brother did the shooting. Okay, the mayor's brother. Okay, put him on a farm in Oklahoma, make him do some field work, and tell them if they don't get their act right, this will be your punishment until you do. I think you really got to lock these dudes up.
That's dope as hell, though, because then they're getting a life skill that hopefully when they come back, they could contribute to the community, learning how to grow and produce shit.
I just think it'll make them niggas tougher. It'll make them harder. Like he don't want to go back to that goddamn ranch. And now his ass know how to ride horses and shit. He done stole the police horse and shit. Like it's crazy, man. You learn how to
you either do that or let him go sit and be mad the whole time.
Pumping iron and shit, and just becoming a super criminal.
Thinking about when he get back.
Right. Right.
I'd rather he be out there fucking with them motherfucking gardens and growing.
Yeah, it's hard to stay mad in the garden, man.
Put his ass on a tractor.
do some kind of work, man. Figure something out.
Jesse said, "I don't code switch because I'm black all the time." You know what? I like to say this. I don't feel like I have to code switch because to me, and you know, people might say different. I feel like I'm fairly articulate, so I don't have to code switch. I speak the Queen's English. So if you don't understand, I'm gonna look at you funny. Like, what the fuck is you trying to be funny? I like if a white person, Kevin, I don't know what you mean. Like, you know exactly what the fuck I mean, Bill. Don't fucking play with me. So I don't feel like there's a need for me to tighten up my butt and act differently around them. I don't have nothing to hide. Right? I mean, it's not like if I speak in that kind of way, you're gonna say, well, he ain't black. No. You can't hide this shit. It is what it is. I try to represent it the right way in terms of what I think is the right way, but I don't code switch. I don't think I have to. I said I feel comfortable with you guys. I gotta confess, I lost my cake in the White House. I was trying to bust a move and got distracted with Jefferson's pictures. You sound like MC Tone. I'm surprised he ain't hit us up and said his hoes went to get some dope and lost them. He did. She said he did a sexually. Alexandria's talking about the mayor's brother. He also sexually assaulted the old lady. Man, this dude is a menace. Proximity said, you even know, the ones who that issue, and the ones who aren't. You got to learn proper discernment. So check this out. All right. So I want to talk about the Republicans, man. Ewok, I see you. He said they probably got it from Mitch McConnell. Mama Jenkins, I want to make sure I get. She said it was the mayor's nephew, not brother, that got 12 years. His brother's being retried for the murder case and is still going through, but the witness didn't show up. Okay, thank you for clarity. Damn, the mayor, they fairly thugged out. I want to get to this Republican thing. Listen, let me ask y'all a question. When do you get enough? When do you get enough of I know black people, we don't like to talk about politics. I know a lot of black people feel like politics has nothing to do with them. And we're not partial to either party on our show. But if you don't agree that the Republicans are going batshit crazy right now, the Republicans have started to, and it starts, and we told you a long time ago, this started with the attack on critical race theory. It started with the attack on and when they vilified this woke thing, because they needed a new enemy. They needed a new what you call the thing they get beat on, the Mexican. They needed a new pinata. Right, and this woke thing became their movement. And so if you look at over the last year and a half, they've secretly, and I say Republican because they control the Supreme Court. And ultimately, I don't know how much you understand government, but the Supreme Court makes the laws for our country, right? They set the laws in place. And you have state Supreme Courts, which guide how states govern themselves. So while we get caught up with tunnel vision, worrying about the mayors and the aldermen and all this shit, the fucking Republicans have attacked every fucking basic right that you have as a human being in the last 2 years. It started with critical race theory, and you thought, it's just going to be them. They didn't hit the women, got at abortion. They are currently in the process of breaking up them LGBTQ laws, right? Right? Now, this attack on affirmative action. It's so crazy that you even have a passage of a budget here in which there's a stipulation attached that nothing should go into diversity, equity, and inclusion. Since they getting rid of affirmative action, now they saying we're going to cancel scholarships that are earmarked for people of color. That's what Voss is saying, right? So I don't know if y'all ever thought of a time to start at least voting just on some. We need to get out here. Now is the time, because this what happens when you don't, right? Now, because I keep saying, how many times, Kamara, we've been talking about politics on the show, and I've said we need to be more concerned about these conservative judges in the Supreme Court than we are. We don't pay that any attention. Clarence Thomas said, "What is diversity?" He said, "What is that?" Like, and this is a black dude. So I did listen. Affirmative action is in place. Affirmative action is in place because the selection process for people who are qualified to attend a college or a university, we're not being given a fair shake, right? White people who tend to what they were using legacy admissions and this kind of thing and excluding people who are from certain economic backgrounds or certain kind of areas of the country to create this kind of blue blood society. That's what set all this bullshit up anyways. So when you get affirmative action in there to kind of break up the monotony and say, no, y'all got to have a quota to receive government contracts. So then you get some diversity, you get some ethnicity, you get black people, or not even just black people, but minorities or people who are poor anyways. They get an opportunity to break those chains, break those cycles. Let me try to get some traction. Not that education is the end all be all, but it can do miracles for you if you are trying to break the cycle. And so that stacked with a lot of other things, it should be way more heat coming off the end of that couch for Republicans from black people right now. Unless we're at the point where we feel like we don't need affirmative action. We don't need any kind of government. Like, damn, no, let them get rid of all the shit. Right? And so I, for one, I had to make this commitment to myself. I'm going to vote in every election that comes up from until I can't no more. I'm not taking no more elections off. I don't care if I hate everybody who's running. I'm going to find the person who I hate the least. Because what we're seeing right now is years and years and years of us not voting and getting out and representing the way we should. Now, I also agree with what Kamar always says is, well, we need to get our own politicians that we own, like they got theirs. We need to take that black dollar and say, okay, let's buy us some politicians. Because lobbyists and special interest groups is what runs the government in the first place. That's how you get the candidates, right? We ain't even partial. Where's the black lobbyist group at? Hello. Can somebody please point? If you know the name of it, I'd like to get in touch with them. Where's the black special interest groups? Right? Where's this? Where are we at with this? Are we barbecue or mildew? Right? What you want to do? So either you getting it done or you sitting on the sideline watching, hoping, praying, but you ain't saying nothing about what's actually happening in this country. Right? And that is an attack. It's way more things to deal with than you attacking people's basic rights. And so I just feel like I'm looking for the black leaders. I'm looking for y'all. Where y'all at? I'm looking for y'all. And people say, well, it's a bunch of them saying stuff around the country and it's very loose. I feel like we should be polarized at this point. I feel like we should be kicking up dust and not just us. That's because women really need to be pissed off. I mean, and they so happy we got rid of Roe versus Wade. Okay. And there's a side that talk about pro-life versus, whatever, anti-abortion. And I say, first of all, it's wrong for anybody to tell a woman what she can do with her body. There's that portion of it. But then there's also my understanding of the establishment of Planned Parenthood and the use of abortions in poor areas to discourage the birth rate of black babies. And we talk about eugenics, not eugenics. What is it, Rail, in which Planned Parenthood's mother, what was her name?
Margaret Sanger.
She wanted to deal with the Negro problem. I said eugenics. It's not eugenics. It's what is it?
I thought that was it, Eugene.
Is it eugenics? Okay.
I thought that was it, eugenics.
Okay. Jesse will let me know. Was it eugenics, Jesse? Let me know. Let me see. Who is this? Sharon Evans said, brother or nephew, my point is the crime took place outside Milwaukee and were not put back into the community. Milwaukee needs to stop allowing criminals released no matter what. How crowded, unkept, or whatever jails look like. That's true. Make their ass sleep on the floor. It is jail. Motherfucker come down with whatever. God damn. Sleeping on the floor in the jail. Now, let me not say that. Shout out to T-Buck, who was murdered by so I can't even say that, y'all. I mean, I can't say that. I have to take that back. I think people should be incarcerated, but they need to be still treated with dignity.
Treated with dignity. But you know what I mean? If it ain't enough beds, they need to sleep on the floor. What else we gonna do with them?
Okay. Instead of letting them out.
Until they build some more jails. How about fight for that then?
Okay. So Jesse's saying 3 branches of government: legislative ones who write and draft, executive who enforces, and judicial reviews the laws and overturns laws. Okay, they certainly the Supreme Court has certainly been busy siding with Republicans. And once again, it ain't about political parties for me. It's more about when we look at who makes up the Republican Party. We know that it's mostly older conservative white people who really could give a fuck less about a person of color, right? And for them to take the way they flip this woke thing, this shit is cold. How they flipped it on us so quick, and they using that now. It's their movement. The anti woke movement got some movement. No pun intended. Right now, he said face, not race. Erica said, "I'm
Told
lost."
niggas to get off that word a long time ago.
Erica, we're just discussing what the Republicans have, all the moves that they've made, getting rid of affirmative action, overturning Roe versus Wade. We see that there's an attack on critical race theory. Them trying to really attach past legislation that would say you can't teach kids Black history in school.
See, I think it's like this. Like, so what I observe is this: a bunch of old white people doing their damnedest to preserve white culture. Because I mean, they got rid of Roe versus Wade because white people are at a negative birth rate. So they had to stop white women from killing white kids so that they can help their population.
Okay.
Critical race theory was causing too many uncomfortable questions again for older white people. And then you got this overturning of affirmative action because we in a day and age now where just to be at an entry level, you need a fucking master's type shit. So if they can limit the amount of people who have access to those degrees, again, they better the chances of their offspring while having more offspring because they stopped abortion. So what we need to do is look at that shit as a model and like you said, polarize. Like, I mean, we always say it wasn't the segregation that fucked us up, it was the integration. So now that they pulling these moves and shit, we need to understand that our only power is coming together. Maybe some of these prominent Black folk get with Dr. Umar and start that Frederick Douglass Academy type shit, and then staff it with some people who could actually teach.
Did they ever build it? I mean, damn,
Nah,
I a long time. Do they even got windows in the building? Like,
I don't even know. I know he was talking about that Frederick Douglass shit for like 10 years now, but
I know.
maybe it's because he ain't getting the support he need.
It's gonna be the oldest new building you ever seen in your life. Like, goddamn.
But I just look at all this shit like chess, and they're maneuvering themselves for a checkmate while we just stand around in outrage type shit.
Right. Okay. So white people are white peopling. Okay.
Exactly. So we need to get on Black people and come together, figure out what the fuck we want and what we willing to give. The same thing about these motherfucking detriments to our community. We need to address a lot of shit.
Right. Mama Jenkins said, I vote in every election in the city. There are no Black lobbyists that I know. The Democratic Party needs to be grooming these people right now for the upcoming election. Yeah, and not that once again, not that I have an affiliation to them. And if they were on this same kind of rampage, I would be very critical of them too. I just feel like there's just an obvious assault on people's rights in this country, and it's centered around we don't want poor people or people of color to gain any traction because of the threat they pose. Like Rail said, it's getting to be less and less of us every day. Now, I don't know white birth statistics, so can't 100% say that that's what they're doing, but I have seen some evidence of studies that say that they're less and less being born. I've seen some studies. I don't know how accurate they are. Well, you would have more information in regards to that than myself.
Yeah, they had a negative birth rate, fam. I think they said about a year, 2050, they'd be a minority in America, some shit like it might be sooner than that.
Well, they're already a minority in our city, which even makes a lot of shit that happens. And I just feel like Milwaukee plays this weak ass punk role for Madison. I don't understand how we let Madison punk us the way they do. And that's a different kind of conversation. I think the way we deal with Madison, the strategy has to change. I do understand Madison is everybody else against Milwaukee, right? So if I ain't never said 414 versus everybody, Milwaukee and Madison is that. because you got this 88% white state, fucking 89% white state. And they're saying, well, we don't give a shit about what y'all going through down there because we don't have a nigger problem where we're at. As a matter of fact, we have a jail that kind of holds the region up. And thank God for that. So fuck helping them. Right.
They eating off of us being stupid.
Very well. They're eating
and
very
while
well
we
off.
being stupid, they buying up all of Milwaukee, getting ready for this shit working for them.
Yeah, it's getting but it's working in a lot of ways. It's working because we are sitting still. We won't get active. And I'm not talking about marching and singing. I'm just like if we just could get that damn voter turnout rate to about 40%. If we can get 40%, and that's not even still, it should be goddamn at least 75. But with what's going on in our community, but we just once again, I know this is not a popular conversation because a lot of people don't want to talk politics because they don't know the ins and outs of it. Like I like how Jesse just broke down the different parts of it. Right, and to have a brother like that who could be in your local barbershop, if we printed that, right, as a pamphlet and say, do you know your government?
Just basic civics discussions in barbershops and shit.
And just set them flyers in barbershops and said, hey, bro, get these out. And broke down who was what. Like Lena, shout out to Lena Taylor, Senator Lena Taylor. Every time I see her, every time she's on the show, she say, Kevin, she said this to me on the mic and off the mic. We need to teach our people civics. We don't understand civics. And they don't know who's responsible for what. And they don't know who to go to. And so we need to figure out a way to simplify this shit. That's why I said pamphlets or just flyers that you just print up with all the different, hey man, this is who, if you got complaints in this city, this is who you should be calling. And have a breakdown of every aldermanic district and every whoever the senator and congressman is. So you'll know just how to take who to complain to when shit's wrong. Mm-hmm. And maybe that'll alleviate some of us knocking the fuck out of each other. I don't know. Jesse said, buy or rent a politician. The only way you can accomplish that is by practicing group economics. And yes, because that's what businessmen do.
Hey, look, and if you do that, you ain't even got to vote.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Because your politicians is going to, hold you down.
That's right. That money talk.
Right. And so, I think part of that too is we don't want to see each other do that. Because when we see each other moving towards it, I mean, he be fucking with that politics shit. I ain't fucking with that shit. Like we got to be willing to throw our support behind these brothers because they're not going to get the major funders and sisters. They're not going to get the major funders that the people who are tools or units of the system will get. So I was right as eugenics and Margaret Sanger. I knew I thought I was right, at least. I just, this shit's live. What you say, Kumar? This microphone is hot. It got to be coming out, right? And sometimes you'll have a brain fart where you like, I know that. Shout out to Jesse. Mama Jenkins says those old pissy ass white men is a disgrace to this country. They are, Mama Jenkins. Shame on the Republican Party. Shame on y'all. This is what y'all got because we got rid of Trump. Is this what y'all do? Right? Like Trump created this energy anyways. This is all Trumpism.
They a disgrace to morality, but as far as the country, they champion they champion for their folks. We need to champion. Like the bad thing is this. Like I don't fuck with Republicans, but also with Democrats, I can't take the blame off of them either because that all inclusion shit is what made woke such a dirty name, because now when you say woke, it ain't a conscious brother or sister. It's cancel culture, LG, no disrespect to them or whatever the fuck, but I don't know all the whole acronym and it changes.
I mean shit.
But
apologize to them motherfucker.
Our movements get hijacked to include everybody. Shit, just like Dr. Umar said, our movements get hijacked to include everybody. And then it gives a bad representation to other people. Like even when you talk to some white people who say, well, I don't like woke people. It's like, well, what do you know about woke people? They trying to teach our kids to cross-dress. It's like, wait, what the fuck? Like woke and conscious ain't the same thing no more, but it's being used to almost like Democrats use black people outrage. Those people over there racist, those people over there trying to keep oppressing you. That's what Democrats use to keep us blind and just use us as they attack dogs. But then white people use the shit the Democrats do with the woke shit. See, they trying to teach your kids
Right.
to play
That's
with
what I
down.
said. It's become a thing for them now.
Right.
It ain't
And
just
we
it
just
was
in the
just
middle
all a
being
hashtag
blindly
at first.
used by everybody. We
Right. That's
need to
what I'm
wake
saying.
the fuck up and stop begging people to treat us right or trying to use their system in a rigged fucking game. Like we got that, and that's what keeps us stuck. We think that because it's the human and right thing to do to treat people fair, that motherfuckers just gonna do that shit for us because it's the right thing to do. We ain't got no economic backing, no nation to back us. We ain't got shit to bring to the table or demand the spot, except the fact that y'all wronged us so long, you should just let us be there type shit.
Right. Dion, what's cracking, man? I see you hit his back.
Hey, see, and this goes into what I was saying last week or the week before last, when I was talking about understanding slavery and reconstruction. The only thing, see, you gotta understand when they ended slavery, they were bound to do it again, even though they might not be able to do it physically, because the geographical region, the region is not built for slavery no more. Like that's why it wasn't slavery in the North, like that, because slavery in the South was agricultural, the North was industrial.
Mm-hmm.
But the Confederates and the Confederalists and the daughters of the Confederacy, they were plotting as soon as Reconstruction happened. See, everything that we see going on now, this has been in place for hundreds of years. We was just blind to the fact. Like, I be watching stuff, like when I be sitting you stuff, I'll be like, yeah, watch this on TV, watch this. These be people that have studied this, like Mitch McConnell and them, they've been trying to get this Supreme Court to be conservative way back when Nixon was in office. Nixon. You understand what I'm saying? That's just like before, I think it went Brett Kavanaugh was another guy. Before they confirmed Clarence Thomas, it was another guy that Mitch McConnell wanted to get in there. And they wanted to put him up in there. I forgot what the reason was they wanted to put him up in there. But they got the second best, which is Clarence Thomas. So you got to understand, though, everything that they doing, they've been playing chess for a long time. We've been looking at, that's why, and see, that's another reason. I ain't never voted. And I ain't ashamed to say it. One reason why I never voted is because I don't believe in a system that was never intended and built for us to work for us. See, that's what we got to understand here. We in a country that was never in, none of these laws was written for us. The 13th, 14th, the 15th. Oh, go ahead, Cam. Go ahead and say what
I can't, under any circumstances, right now, tell people not to vote. I can't support them saying they don't vote. I can accept it, obviously, because I can't make a motherfucker go vote, right? But I can't. Because at a point like this where you see the result of us not voting, you see this conservative Supreme Court, you see these conservative justices, you see these old geriatric white men who've held power for 40 and 50 years, holding on, and they're trying to make sure that they can extend this to their grandchildren and great grandchildren and all this. And now then there's going to be a white champion, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's going to come along. And I just think instead of supporting all that, black people need to polarize and say, because we do whatever happened to the Black Caucus, right? Like, because we just talked about the need for black lobbyists and black special interest groups. So to tell people right now, when we have 12% voter turnout, not to vote, I don't think is the answer. I think, and I get what you're saying about this system ain't built for you and yada, 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 but that's all the more reason to fight it. And the only way you can fight it is from within. You can't beat it from the outside. So you got to get your people in there.
I'll tell you this, though, right? And I look at the United States eventually going to come. So the United States is going to be torn apart. And they don't really see that. I see the vision of it because if you go back to mighty kings from Rome, Greece, Egypt, even Germany, they crumbled. You understand what I'm saying? And see, the whole thing about it's too far gone. Do you know how it would take to repair the system that was already broke? Because it's the thing. If I could find it on Tubi, I'll send it to you. It was the thing when Barack Obama had got elected president. It was what they call a red wave hit. States that was blue flipped red. And see, that's another thing. Like the Democrats, though, well, we got black Democrats. And you understand, these black Democrats can't be too strong on pushing a black agenda because it's about progressiveness. Because then if they push the black agenda, it is scared of the white Republicans, the white Democrats, and then boom. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, once again, that's why we don't need to have black Democrats or black Republicans. We need our own party. This is where we need to be moving. This is what this has showed us more than anything, is that we need our own party. And you can't tell me when we got black billionaires who buying networks, who buying sports teams, who buying all this woo-wop barbecue or mildew, that we don't have enough to create some special interest groups and start saying, let's start our own political party. I think black people are scared to start their own political party. I really do.
But the thing,
I think we scared that if we do that, white people would get mad at us.
I think that's a
Because
fact.
most black people just don't want to piss white people off. Like, I don't need these white people coming after me.
Right.
It goes back to like Real was saying though about indoctrination. Because a lot of our parents was indoctrinated to be Democrats and they don't even know why they Democrats. I have this conversation with my mom all the time. You understand what I'm saying? She's from the South, but she's a Democrat. Well, why are you a Democrat? Well, I don't know. I'm just a Democrat. So it goes back to indoctrination. And then it'll go back to this though. If it was a third party, the third party draws attention from supposedly be the Democratic Party, and then that's drawing votes away, and then boom, guess what happened? You understand what I'm saying? So see, it's just
there's no guess what happens. There's somebody got to go. We're gonna take our ball and go home. So if it causes the fall of the Democratic Party, so be it. And all you motherfuckers that was Democrats now get with our black party. Get with us or get left behind. And we're gonna make enough noise. We'll have enough. If they were to fade away, it would only empower our organization. It would only empower our party. Because then all of the white people who really ain't racist, that's really about the country getting right, would join us and get behind our parties. So I'm not telling black people not to vote. I just can't do it.
I'm not telling nobody what to vote, not to vote, or to vote. Whatever they do is their business. I just don't vote. I'm not wasting my time or my ambition or any hopes and dreams that I have. And I'm going to go stand in that line all day, knowing that my district been gerrymandered. And even if everybody did vote in the district that I live in, which is, I don't even know what district I live in. I ain't going to even lie. I think
ain't that the moral of the story? Ain't that the moral of the story? Now, how many motherfuckers in your district don't know who they alderman is? They don't even know who. That was my point. Right, his name Mark something.
I know his name Mark something.
Mama name him Mark.
I mean, I don't care. Listen, I don't care to know that though.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. That's paralysis. That's paralysis by analysis. That's knowing something exists and just refusing to react to it. I'm gonna ignore this problem away. I got kids, man. I got 2 children, and I'm hoping. Everybody always want to tell me how the world finna come to an end and America finna fall. I hope not. I got 2 kids who I would like to see grow up and be able to do something with their lives. And I would hope that by me voting and having a voice and saying to them, be aware, would improve their status moving forward. Or I could just tell them, fuck it. Ain't no need for y'all to even try. The world finna be over in 10 years.
Or you could just continue to teach them how to garden, how to hunt, how to be self-sufficient.
Of the United States crumble.
That's right.
If they allow Donald Trump to be president again, the democracy that we know it of the United States is going to crumble. And that's going to be it, and that's going to be all. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm about to go back on YouTube and finish listening to you. My night almost over, and I know you'll be wrapping it up, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Outlaw. You understand? Outlaw with that big 7-4 up under those kids. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, I know nothing. I know nothing about that.
Yeah,
No.
you know, I love y'all, man. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. Don't do that to me.
No.
You know
Ask
I'm
for the
saying,
phone.
bro. All right, kid.
All right, man. Love.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't. No. There's no 7 or 4s attached to this at all. Trust me. Well, I don't know. Maybe in your mind, if that's how you feel, but that would never be added to the logo officially. So, whatever. Shout out to Dion. Courtney, what was you trying to contribute?
Nothing.
I thought you was trying to drop in and you was getting caught off by him gang banging.
Nothing.
Mama Jenkins said, once again, this city's leadership is black. There's no reason for this shit to be happening in this city. And they're on their knees. They're on that, like, please. Let me not do that. Let me not do that. Because my daughter would say, Dad, you be gaslighting people. I'm not totally sure what that means yet, but it sounds like it's bad.
What?
Right. She always tell me that. Stop gaslighting me. Jesse Parrish, she said it's supposedly in Wilmington, Delaware. Is Frederick Douglass. This is the school for Umar. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for Boys. He found the building last I checked. Right. But for years, when I was with the Panthers, we did security for him when he was up here at was that Northwest Side CDC, or was that the 30th Street corridor? The group that was out here rail by us by that by the where the 414 studios used to be. That's where we went to do security for Umar at.
Okay.
And so I heard him speak there, and that was 2017.
Yeah, I heard. I went to go see him speak at, I think it was Burroughs back in the day.
It was hot as hell. It was hot as hell. I had on all black. I was mad as hell. It was summertime. I was like, dude, I hope don't nobody try nothing because I'm too hot to even try to protect him. Sweating like a mother. It was hot, but he sold a lot of books and DVDs.
Real, can you give a quick definition of gaslighting, please, for Kev, so he can get an understanding next time his daughter says it?
It's my understanding. Like, we ain't call it that shit back. We just called it manipulate. You playing with my motherfucking mind, like, you know, like it's like shit. What? You're overreacting right now. You're you know, like shit like that. Like,
I thought it was more in I'm really asking questions to kind of manipulate the conversation to get a reaction out of you. So I'm, lightheartedly making thinly veiled passive aggressive attacks at you, but I'm acting like I'm not.
All of that shit is enrolled in gaslight now, but it's an overly used term.
My mama used to say you threw the rock and hid your hand. That's what they used to say. You don't throw the rock and hide your hand, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like type shit.
Right. That's what they used to call it. Or blow your nose to spite your face. Jesse Parrish, he says, right, we had something similar out here, Kev, called Shop Talk Live. We had these kinds of discussions. Margaret Sanger is Hillary Clinton's idol. She says, so stop giving out free stuff. Beauty is saying that. What are we giving away free, Beauty? I didn't hear about this law in Michigan where it makes it a felony if you misname or mislabel a transgender person up to 5 years. I did not see that, Jesse. I did not see that. It was the institution of slavery in the South that funded the Industrial Revolution. Not to minus, they were just about as many lynchings in the North as in the South, if not more. The North's hands are not clean,
right,
when it comes to how Black people have been handled. As a matter of fact, if you really understand the differences between institutionalized racism and kind of like overt racism,
right,
is what like my parents walked into, because I'm a product of the Great Migration, and they were headed north for these jobs. But when they got here, they got the lowest paying jobs. They had the worst neighborhoods, the worst living quarters, the lowest, wages and all this kind of stuff. So it was more institutionalized.
Well, I think even how the union started was originally to make sure that white people kept their jobs while it was an influx of
immigrants,
of Black folk from the South that probably were even more skilled and willing to take less money.
And immigrants. I mean,
okay,
the thing about America is America hasn't been friendly to anybody. They beat the shit out of Irish people. They beat the shit out of Italian people, Asian people. Like, America doesn't put their foot in anybody.
They lynched Italian people in, I think, what was it, New Orleans or something like that? Somewhere in the South, they did Italian so dirty that Italy was about to ride.
Beauty says United States United States already torn. They use COVID to set the tone. Yeah, COVID, boy, that conversation about COVID in about 10 years is going to be crazy as hell. I can't wait to hear it.
Shit,
Because
I
by
just hope
then, hopefully, we'll
we took
figure
the
out
shot
what the hell
away
happened. 'Cause
10 years.
I think a lot of us just look at these past few years and say, what the hell just happened? What the fuck happened?
I knew what was happening. I stayed at Facebook jail because I was telling motherfuckers what was happening.
But see, everybody says they knew what was happening, but I've heard so many different variations that I'm like, I'm just going to wait for more time. I need more facts to come out.
I knew
because
it was some bullshit when they was giving motherfuckers donuts with shots and free weed with shots. I'm like, oh, they going too hard with this shit. This is the new Miss Evers boys and shit.
I still would like to know. I
Well,
would need a
Kev,
better
you
explanation.
know, hey, Kev, remember we said it on the show back then, man. Focus on your immune system. I
Yep.
said it way in the beginning. We did say that shit, man. People
Keep
was
saying it,
saying.
yeah.
They saying them sudden deaths is spiking. Is athletes dropping dead now? Shit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is going to be a very interesting conversation with the basketball player who was saying that this has messed me up, and then he dies of a heart attack. Young too, 28. Voting with no cause or purpose doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense if you have an agenda and cause that agenda is the black agenda and not because is reparations, for example. No, Jesse, I agree with you. I think we have to become informed voters. I think the practice of just voting blindly should be done away with. And I guess maybe that's a better way for me to even explain it to Dion to say, well, we want you to when we call for you to come to the poll, we want you to have some viable choices and to be informed about your choices. Not the way it is now to go and support your local neighborhood Democrat or Republican. The time for us just continuously elevating white people to lead us because we feel more comfortable with them leading us should be over. I feel like a lot of times we feel better when it's a white person in charge. Like, ooh, I mean, Joe Biden was 9 million years old and now it's cocaine in the White House. Right? It's like one of the places where you say, I would never leave my kids there.
What did he say? The Ukraine is beating Iraq or some shit. Like the motherfucker always fucking up the words when he try to give a speech and just show people how senile he is.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was jelly beans too for probably about the last the last 4 to 5 years of his presidency. CBC does something for everyone but us, and they're supposed to represent us and our interests. That's what I'm saying. I think we need to call them to the carpet. We need to put them, the NAACP, and all these legendary organizations, these iconic organizations that are supposed to represent us. We need to put them at the same table and say we're gonna go around the room and either hire your ass or fire your ass. You got 5 minutes. You got an elevator pitch, as they call it. If not, we dismissing you. That's why I had Ruben Anderson, who's normally watching the show. Shout out to Ruben Anderson. He was talking on the ineffective nature, speaking on the ineffective nature and the lack of action for the Milwaukee NAACP, and he was saying it's time to take their nonprofit status. And that's where we should be. Well, he said they'll kill us. They kill us when we have power. Well, I think we have more power than we understand, because I feel like right now, one of the things that I would do if I was a very rich man is I would say to Minister Farrakhan, hey, I want security from you. I want to make sure that y'all, whenever we do an event, when we go into the neighborhoods to work with the youth, I want y'all to be a part of whatever we do. That's who we should be looking to for leadership, but we allow them to tell us don't support him because he's anti-Semitic. Don't support him. He's homophobic. And black people go, I would, but you anti-Semitic. You got black people talking about y'all killed Malcolm X. That's why I won't listen to y'all. What? What are you talking about, man? Like, it's like black people come up with that's what I'm saying. Name something that we all agree on.
Shit.
Thank you. There's nothing. You would think you speaking straight black gospel and say, and it'll be a black person say, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit, nigga. Time me drop a dime. I don't like that shit.
And it might just be the fact that it's
me go into belly mode and do
black person.
I just did a scene from Belly. Never mind. I don't like that shit, nigga. I don't like that. Never mind. Y'all never get my impressions. I'm starting to feel a little personally.
I got it right away.
You just didn't laugh and shit.
Had to drop the dime on that nigga. Drop the
I
dime
don't
on
like that
nigga.
shit. Erica Hunt said, "Hey, I believe that Black community may not be in position to totally rebel against the whole system that's designed to destroy the Black and brown communities, regardless if we vote or not. But it's not. Once again, it's not going to serve us if we vote for them. I don't think people understand what I'm saying. And let me bring clarity to that. Okay. And shout out to everybody who's listening. You can always call in. Got about 20 minutes left before we cut it off. 262-202-5131. I'm not saying go out in big numbers and vote for these candidates now. If you are a person of color, and this can be done quietly but efficiently, we as Black people establish a situation where we support our own candidates. We fund our own candidates. We're not looking at your commercials. We're not going to any of your speeches. We already know here's the Black list of candidates. And when we go vote, we vote like that. I'm not saying go vote now for Robin Voss versus some other white person you don't know. If we got to write our candidates in and we do that, I'm just saying we need to move with a purpose. Shine Mo, what to do?
What's happening, man? I just figured I'd call in so you can have somebody else to harass and talk crazy to. What's happening, real?
Peace,
Dr.
peace.
Carter. Hey, Courtney.
Courtney's not on here,
Courtney
so yeah. So you ain't watching the show,
Oh, okay.
right? He just call in. He ain't even listening to the show. What y'all talking about? Because he ain't watching.
No, but man, I was visiting my brother. He just got out the hospital, so yeah, I wasn't listening to the show.
Okay, well, since you're gonna be like that, okay. Prayers for your brother, right? He gonna do this to Martin. You mean a little kid shit. I'm sorry, I lied to you, Martin. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, nothing, man. Just trying to maintain, man. Get ready to for this show with my son and just licensing him with the hot spot.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Still working, man. Still working.
Right. Well, that's all you can do. Let me see in the chat room. Unity in the state of Colorado. That's where Paris is at. He said, we already have existing parties in certain parts of the country, like Mali and Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, African Socialist Party, which is head in St. Louis. Okay. Ewok says Republicans already won while people wasn't paying attention. They have made new rules and laws to keep them in power, and Democrats just let them do it. They move in silence. I'll tell you that much. She said that part, Kevin. My youngest is 6, and she'll only be 16 years old in 10, and I hope she don't have to live completely underground. I mean, are we trying to build something up for our kids? We're so downtrodden. A lot of us ain't even thinking about our kids. You ain't thinking about trying to make this world something better, trying to, what they say, lead the world a better place than you found it. A lot of us just like, fuck it, this shit finna fall anyways. That's your excuse for not doing shit. It's gonna be over in 5 years. It's gonna be Canada. Like, dude, stop it. Jesse said if you looked at the presidential ballot in 2020, you would have noticed there were several parties listed besides the Democrats and Republicans for the. I know that there's other parties. I know there's libertarians. I know there's all kinds of people who have political parties. I understand that.
But we
what
talking
I'm
about
saying
we
is
need ours.
we haven't been able to come together on a majority amongst the minority. Like, you can name off different parties, but most of us say, number one, I never heard of that shit, and number two, I would never support that. Right? Like, we got to come up with one that's essential. The Afro Party. You an Afro? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Something that we all can say, hey man, I'm a vote Afro. Who on the Afro ticket?
When you look on the ballot, you see Afro.
But as a major, as a third, not just a splinter organization, but no, the Afro ticket is big. And we have our own Afro Party convention, like they do the national convention for Democrats. We need this. What I'm saying. Call it Essence Festival. You just showed you can get us together for a party, have a bunch of concerts and shit. So we need to move like that. I know that there's alternatives to, but when the last time one of them motherfuckers won anything? I'll wait. Right. We had socialist mayors here in the 20s and the 30s, who laid the groundwork for the city, by the way. If you look it up, city's socialist control for a long time. Said our people have been programmed and conditioned to vote for the Democratic Party in large numbers. We can make or break that party as we swing the vote. So if you vote, demand something tangible. Yeah, it ain't enough to come to the table yelling, what's your ask? What you want?
How
What do you
much money
want?
you got?
Ice Cube tried to help us do that shit, and he got
Yeah, everybody got mad at Cube.
Nigga shitted on Cube.
Hey, Cube say, fuck it, I'm just gonna start a basketball league.
Right, they was trying to say he was a Trump supporter, and all he said was, "Hey, Trump was willing to talk to me, Biden wasn't." He said, "Wait till I get in office," and as soon as he was in office, we lost any leg to stand on.
Yeah, he said, fuck that, Cube, my bad. I forgot to tell you,
I
we
don't
ain't doing
need
that.
y'all now.
Right.
I'll make y'all mad again when I need some shit burnt down or
Right. Gaslight basically means to tell you you're not experiencing what you experience. It's all made up in your head. Right. Okay. So it's just manipulate. What we call razzle dazzle. Just a little,
yeah,
you know.
just manipulation, you know. But gaslighting and narcissism are two fucking words that I really wish people would kind of forget, because now it just sums up everything.
Right. I don't know if Canada's still on fire. We ain't got no smoke no more, Dion. De jure versus de facto slavery. Okay, Jesse. Dion says he don't trust these people. Beauty said that's why Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be vaccinated. I think I can probably say now.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking some talking. You know what I mean?
And people was mad at him because he said, what did he say? I'm immune or some shit. I can't even remember.
No, I've been immunized. I wasn't vaccinated. I didn't have a vaccine. I've been immunized. And I said that back then. I said,
he caught it before he was immunized. That's the reality.
I said back then, it sounded like he using the right wordage.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He never said he vaccinated. He said he immunized, which means he done some work to his immune system.
Right. Play on words, semantics, if you will. Right. Erica said, "I'm happy you brought that up, Rel. Yes, union was created to help white workers keep their jobs. However, Black organizers and leaders like Martin Luther King used their system to protect Black workers, and we need to do the same now. I'm still looking at a way that we can get away from our dependence. We got to get off the tit. Gaslight to psychologically manipulate a person, usually over an extended period of time, so that the victim questions the validity of their own thoughts, perception, reality, or memories. So it's in the hood we call it game. That's what it is.
Right. It was just you was just
game.
That's just playing with their
game. Right. You said fake ass actor. Which one, Sean? Who's the fake actor?
Yeah.
You.
I'm an actor.
Always do these fucking movie quotes and don't nobody know what the hell you be talking about. You think nobody knows.
How can a son bitch call you and insult you on your own shit when you see the grace of allowing them in to, like, damn, that's crazy. I welcome the shit though, honestly.
You want me to act brand new or something? Do shit I don't normally do? No, man.
That shit don't bother me. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I've been called worse by better, if you will. And experience confusion, loss of confidence, and self-esteem, and doubts concerning their own emotional mental. So it's breaking the motherfucker all the way down. We also call it spinning you.
Right.
You know, motherfucker say, man, damn, you got spent. Like, I don't know if they say that outside Milwaukee. We say, damn, he spent the shit out of dude. He had him doubting even what he like. I don't even know what I was thinking, bro. You right.
Right. And that's what it is in a nutshell.
Say I got to go see a man about a dog and sell him a cat. Right. That's what them old folks used to say. I got to go see a man about a dog and sell him a cat. If we vote a Black person in, they'll be bought and sell us out like every other person. Well, that's the assumption if we vote them in, and that's the reality when we vote them in under the Democratic Party, or we vote them in under the Republican Party, because ultimately they got to do what they're told by their parties. So they realize that they was a tool after they get elected. I'm saying have these politicians aware of the fact that they're only beholden to us. They ain't worried about what the party's saying. They gonna come in saying, look, the Black delegation would like to say That's all we care about. We don't.
Good shit.
I can say I like bring Mitch Farrakhan to our convention without them getting upset. You ain't shutting shit down because we're gonna have New Edition perform right before him, and then we'll slip him right in there. You trapped, the door locked. You finna listen to the minister. We got all black politicians now in Milwaukee, but we see that they're still kowtowing. They have to. They still have to brown nose. They still gotta to be where they're at. They still can't be unapologetically black. Mayor Johnson can't say, man, I am here to fight for the rights of my people and I'm black first and all. He can't say that. He's less marketable.
Mm-hmm.
Go and be the Grand Marshal at Juneteenth or something. And, you need to be here. It needs to be broken and rebuilt, Dion. So that's why we got to break it. See, the only way it's going to get broke is if we break it. Because we're the X factor. Because if we really get together with other minorities like Latinos and this kind of thing and say, this is us against, then we really going to have a majority.
Real shit, I don't think because indoctrination didn't just start with us, I think even if we were able to get black folk on code, because other people were taught to look at us as less than human as well, they will feel just as threatened by our solidarity as white folks is, because everybody in the Western world who's been colonized are looking at this world through the lens of the white oppressor. So that's even Mexicans, Chinese, whatever the fuck. Like how other nations.
Look, well, once it's on, it's on. We don't give a fuck how you look at us. We don't care if you're scared of us. None of that shit.
So you think they would come together with us, or would they view us coming together as a threat?
They are victims of certain things as well because they ain't really happy about the immigration laws. They got some issues. They getting deported. They got a lot of shit. They want access to this country. If you could get us to vote to improve immigration laws, that's a trade-off. That's bartering. So it becomes you can't be against us.
What are we asking for though in return of that?
We're asking for their support and for them to support our initiatives.
Their support on what though?
Our initiatives, whatever our initiatives are. If we have legislation in place that will address some issue of ours, say mass incarceration, then you're going to need votes. You're going to need support from the people to support this candidate or this issue. You support us. When we get in, we'll be easy on immigration laws to help y'all out. That's what white people do right now for each other. That's all they do for each other.
But they also have their top 3 requests or their top 2 requests, right? Knowing that, okay, shit, I ain't gonna shoot 5 or 6, but you can't get 20 of us in a room to agree on 10 different things.
Well, that's a problem that has to be fixed. I mean, either you're gonna say we can't do it or we're gonna have to figure out how to do it.
Can't do it. I'm saying before we even propose something like that, we got to get our shit together.
I think, yeah, that's a running narrative for black people. Shit, nobody's arguing with that. He said, I'm listing black parties that's already established. It's a process to creating an independent minor legitimate party wherever you're at in this country. And it varies by state. Okay, well, let's get the process started. You live on Outlaw Radio. What's popping? Caller, you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. How you doing, Kev?
What's going on? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to touch bases with y'all and say hey to the Outlaws and say hello. The conversation tonight is pretty much there's a lot of different factors that is going to take place for us to be able to do what we're trying to do. But my comment earlier in the statement was talking about leaders and how they use the system regarding the unions. You know, leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King learned that system that the white people created in order to make change for themselves. Once we start to learn these systems and learn these skills and talents that it needs, we'll be able to build our own. But right now, I don't think nobody has enough knowledge to really say that we need to get off the titty. Because once we get off the titty, what is going to be our supply? Where is our lifeline coming from? And I don't think nobody really has a good understanding of where our lifeline will come from.
I think that's a dead titty anyways. It ain't giving you life right now. So it ain't that hard to let go. It's
So
almost
starved to death.
it's almost like a pacifier. A pacifier don't give you no nurturing. Look, we
But then, and then that's the second thing
there's
too. I
hold
wanted
on,
to
hold
say
on, hold on
too.
though. But there's
Everybody is like,
Erica. There's that thing again. Well, what we gonna do if we stop? How we gonna make it? I think we are efficient. Well, not efficient, but I think we are right now sophisticated enough to figure out how to survive and not be as dependent on white folks for everything. Right now, we are overly dependent on them. Anything we want, we got to get together and then go to them and find the right person to ask for it. Somebody that they will listen to.
So you owe us this instead of just saying, hey, you know what?
We need for this shit to happen. Man, y'all got till Tuesday.
Right. There's motherfuckers that owe me money.
Why we always
say, you know what? You ain't shit. I'm gonna stop fucking with you and I'm gonna make another way, but I bet not see you around my way no more. You know, and it gotta come to shit like that. Like I said, growing food, producing shit, owning shit, and finding a way to use that as some sort of basis and
Or at least
scripture.
let's just stop fucking each other up. How about we stop there?
Exactly.
and that's what I'm saying. We ain't even got the skills to stop fucking each other up. And then everybody is how? Why is our community not getting better?
You said something earlier about their systems and how they have taken their system and did this. Well, they didn't create these systems that they have marketed and taken over. These are systems that they learned from us.
Why is it so hard for us to? Why is it so hard to regain power then? There's podcast after podcast after podcast after podcast. You can turn on any channel on Facebook, Instagram, or anywhere you go, you can find these same conversations being had. What we need to do and how we need to do it, and how the systems you said it. The systems was taken from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really frustrated with the conversation of we can't get it done, but we got all the skills that we need to get it done.
Hold on. Hold on. We can't talk over each other. I ain't hear a word neither one of y'all just said. We can't talk over each other.
I'm just saying, it gets frustrated when we say we got everything we need, but we don't got everything we need. And then we got these black folks in office, but they not doing what we needed to be doing. I mean, and then we say, oh, it's the Democrats this, it's the Democrats party fault. Really, in reality, my mama said something to me a long time ago when I was complaining about going to a certain school. I don't like that school. Right? And she broke it down to me. She said, it's not the school you don't like, it's the people you don't like, because the people make the school. It's not that building. The Democratic Party is a building. It's the people in the Democratic Party. And all of us sitting to the sidelines complaining is part of that Democratic Party.
I tell you what. Here's the funny part of this conversation. While black people running in circles talking about what we can't do and what we don't have, when I look at Hmong people as an example, who basically traditionally have less than we have. If you talk about spending power, you talk about access to resources, they have had historically less than we've had in terms of a foothold in this country, and they have totally blazed the trail, showing you how to get it cracking. Latinos, Asians, they're the same way.
Aliens come to this motherfucker and can't get no kind of government assistance and make shit happen.
But we keep saying what we can't do, and she's correct. This is why sometimes I don't like having these kinds of conversations, but since it's Outlaw Radio and we talk about the shit that's really pertinent to us, I don't mind doing it. But she's right. There is this, and you hear the same cliches. Come together. We need to get together. This is what we need to do. It sounds like a broken record. It sounds like a skipping CD. But I think that it's because people don't want to embrace the concept of saying enough is enough. And this all starts with an economic boycott. Something as simple as an economic boycott. Now, what does that mean, Kevin? Well, that means what we'll do is we'll reduce the amount of money that we spend, because we'll reduce our mobility. Meaning, we're going to have designated days where you can go and get you some groceries for your kids. Okay? Saturdays, we going to shop. The rest of the week ain't nothing moving. That shuts out a lot of people in between who get gas money and fast food.
Unless you're going to certain places.
Unless you're going to certain places. And this needs to be a mantra. It's a full-out economic boycott. We're not going to line up and have lines around stores for designer shit. We ain't responding to commercials. You know, we're only supporting us intentionally. And we say, well, what day we shopping this week? Well, because there's always going to be some people say, man, fuck that shit. I'm going to go to the store. Well, you could have got everything you needed on Saturday, brother, and you wouldn't have to go during the week. Stay in the mood, right? So that's a place to start for us to go to school board meetings deep and say, right now, we as parents, we as taxpayers demand a change in your curriculum and the way you implement it. They can't help but listen at what we saying, but we keep laying back saying, well, ain't nothing that can be done, so I ain't gonna do shit. It ain't nothing to do.
Kevin, these people won't even come together and go to their manager and tell their managers collectively that they want better wages and benefits to take care of their kids.
That's
they
right.
Won't do that. How we expect them to stand up for their children's school?
I mean, you don't work for your children's school. I'm not gonna get fired from the school if I go up there and say, hey man, I like y'all to pay more attention. I looked at the literacy scores for the school last year. As a parent, I'm concerned. I'd like for you all to, and I got these other parents with me, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our kids out of this school if there's not something implemented immediately. And everybody behind me say he's right. We with him. Instead of saying, well, I'm going to leave my kid here, but could y'all please do something? Is it a white man who could start a reading program or something? We need to be on the same page. Now, I agree. That's hard to do. I'm not saying that's easy. But there is a group of people that are willing to do this. But their problem is they're not going to get supported. They'll be ostracized. They'll be alienated by the powers that be. And then there'll be some black gatekeeper who's leading the charge against them. I'm totally against him. Look at Clarence Thomas. We got to get rid of bootlickers, man. And I'm not telling y'all nothing y'all don't know. We got to get rid of gatekeepers. I'm not saying, we ain't saying nothing on this show that you ain't heard on 1,000 other podcasts. Right. So I don't want to pretend like we split an atom on Outlaw Radio. Really ain't nobody trying to tell you what to think. We just want you to think. You don't have to agree with shit nobody on this show said, but come up with some of your own shit. Don't argue with me based on somebody other shit that you ain't fully aware of or really informed about. Come up with your own shit and say, man, I thought about maybe if we tried this. And it'd be like, okay, that can be incorporated. But we go against each other because you said, what is the tit? The tit is our dependence on them for everything, emotional support. Right. I ain't even getting to the economic part yet. I ain't even talking about just quit your job. I'm saying if we stop running behind them, letting them they define the standard of quality in this country. I want to drive what they driving. I want to live in their neighborhood. I want to eat at their restaurants. Why? Right. Because they there. Now, at least we can start with that and say, okay, let's stop being so fucked. And then when you see we go to work with your hair in bundles or braids or twists or whatever it is, now we've gotten to the point where they can't really discriminate against you for that shit now because we all in unison. Like, nah, we wear our hair to work. I be seeing people at work with dashikis and all kinds of shit on. I'm like, damn, it ain't Friday. Fuck you wearing that for? But it takes us to do it. It takes for us to do it. Instead, we keep talking about it and arguing about the shit. And so that's why I be bringing in people who are like totally operating.
It ain't Friday. What the fuck they wearing that for?
Right. You know, Friday.
It's indoctrination, man. We all get it.
Hey, dog. Hey, that sound like some shit Uncle Ruckus would have said.
Look at these niggas.
Damn niggers.
And head bags on a Tuesday. Take that shit off.
Right. We all got a level with indoctrination, man.
But we all can't admit it because some of our shit don't stink. Some of our shit don't stink, man. Some of us are just superior to others. Like some of us really float at night and glow in the dark and shit. They're not just regular black people.
Right.
Some of us is cosmic and shit. Instead of just saying, hey man, we all got the same goddamn problem. You know, let's take care of this business. Because see, if there was a community stance on like even with Kamar, who made a very excellent point when those kids were initially kind of getting rowdy at Juneteenth, you had a group of people who they shit don't stink, so they gonna tell the police, hey, wait a minute now, you leave these children alone. They just babies, right? And then the police say, okay, well, you see, they said don't do shit.
Right.
I'm not totally blaming those people, but it's that mentality of, look, we're gonna take a hard line against kids acting up. And we're gonna tell them kids, well, first we're gonna walk over there and talk to the kids and say, hey man, y'all see them police over there? They here for a reason. Y'all get to acting up, they're gonna fuck y'all up. And we ain't stopping them. So move around with the bullshit and let it be what it's gonna be. Instead of super righteous X-Man who got to say, I refuse to allow you to put a hand on an innocent, beautiful black baby with a Glock in his drawers. He need to be allowed to shoot this motherfucker up. Like I'm doing.
I'm gonna try that next year.
Yeah, I thought that's what you do anyway, Sean. I thought you was pretty much the one who would.
Yeah, I didn't do it like that. And you, thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping you're giving yourself that shit.
For you, bro. It's for you, bro. As the white dude said.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, bro, it's for you, man. Listen, it's 10 o'clock. I got to get out of here. You're right. He says, stop thinking white ice is colder than black ice. I'm just saying, man. I'm down to just support us. I don't have the answers. We ain't solving the Rubik's Cube on this show. I know. I like to hear people's opinion. I think that sooner or later, when we start to speak and everybody can get their shit off, then we start to come. There starts to be clarity, as opposed to a bunch of different confusion, right? So if you're hearing other platforms that say the same thing along the lines of what we're saying, first of all, that tells you that it's legitimate, and secondly, it tells you that we do have the ability to get together and have these discussions, but they have to turn into something other than us having a meeting about meeting. We're going to have a meeting about when we meeting again. So, yeah, it's a lot to it, and I understand it's complicated. If it was simple, it would have been done. But goddamn, how long we going to sit here and keep saying I can't do it? We can't do it. We can't do it. Because to me, time is ticking. This shit's out of control, man. It's out of control. And the only way it's going to change is if we change it. Kamar, what you got coming up this weekend, man? Because I know we coming off the holidays with it's the mid peak season for you. So what you got coming?
I'll be at the Fondy Market Saturday. Next Tuesday, I'll be at the Sherman Phoenix. Getting my shit together.
Yeah. Okay. Building up for the crescendo.
Yeah.
All right. Ray, what you got popping, man?
Still working on this next book, man, and working on a website to where I can start offering coaching programs and consultations and a centralized hub for like the videos I'll be dropping knowledge with.
Okay. Sean, you still got your book coming? What you got popping? I know you said your son got some music. What you got shaking this weekend? Just chilling?
No, man. I'm preparing for this hearing for the hotspot. I'm asking that other communities come out and support the closure of the store, man. You know, I stated earlier on the show about the impact on the neighborhood that they have, and the more evidence that I'm being presented with, my numbers may have even been lower than I stated, Mr. Barnes. So yeah, help me heal this community, man. That's what I need from people, man. That's what I'm working on this weekend. Looking at this store and the impact that it has had on that community, and how they have created this alternate society where they are the ruler and the executioner, where they have created their own laws and they use the Milwaukee Police Department as their own arm of enforcement.
Okay.
That's what we're working on this weekend.
Okay, Erica, you got union events coming up. What you on?
Now, Barnes, you already know I got union going, and I don't care how much you dislike the union. I'm going to keep pushing it because I do have members who are collectively coming together to get improvements in their workplace so that they can start working 2 and 3 jobs, so that they can have the health care benefits that they need to help protect and provide for their family. I'm going to keep pushing the union. I mean, that's the only way we can organize, and there's so much more to unionizing than just getting work. I mean, getting weekends off or negotiating contracts. There's just so much more, and one day y'all will open your ears to hear about how organizing
I
within
was
the
a union organizer, so don't say y'all.
Well,
Because I was a union
I don't
organizer.
recall saying anything against a union. I'm actually indifferent on unions. It doesn't matter to me if. I mean, I can understand the benefits. I can understand the drawbacks. I worked for MPS for a long time, and I was happy we had a union because when they ever renegotiated the contract, we got retro pay and everything. So there was some good checks. So I'm not ever against a union. I don't think I've ever said anything against a union. I understand, like I said, too much of anything is bad, and if unions get too much power, obviously we've seen where things have gone. So I'm not against unions at all, at all. So shout out to y'all. Do what y'all do.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's all good. For me, just this weekend, just coming down from the holidays, which I did too much, as my kids say, Dad, you're doing too much, right? Like I said, a bunch of fireworks and a bunch of food and shit, and just I'm gonna chill this weekend. My garden, I'm gonna start taking some pictures of my garden. Y'all got to see my garden is blooming. It's beautiful,
garden.
right? Hater ass dude, right? Like it's always see. Well, I
Your
tell you about
garden ain't
black
like
people.
a real garden.
See,
Your
black
garden ain't like
people.
real
They
garden.
say, oh, he got a little garden.
Your
That's what you
garden ain't like
say.
real garden.
Right.
Yeah, I'm starting this fight.
Yeah, you on some
Your
hater
garden,
shit, but I hold the hook, so I just hang up on you. But yeah, so I'm building up my garden, man. See, that's what y'all should do when somebody be hating and shit. Just hang up on them. No, my garden is beautiful, man. You think a city boy don't know nothing about doing this, but it's coming along. It's gonna be very nice. It's become a thing. My whole family is just we all be hype about it. Me and my son get into arguments on who's gonna water it and shit. Every day we got to go stand out there as a family and say, "Look, it's a pepper right there." So, it's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna bring it's gonna be a beautiful thing, and we're gonna.
Yeah, my tomatoes get out of hand, man. I knew I should have trimmed them motherfuckers, but I just couldn't bring myself to cutting on them, and now they done overshadowed my pepper plants.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. So, but I do want to say this: people say, grow your own food, yada yada yada. But I will say, first of all, it's not cheap. Unless you're doing it the old-fashioned way where you're buying seeds and germinating them and stuff like that, and you understand how to really work that land, it ain't cheap. I didn't do it that way. I built the boxes and all that kind of stuff, and we started from scratch. So it wasn't cheap. It's going to be rewarding, and it's a good skill to acquire. And anything we do in the future, we'll be doing, like we'll start germinating the seeds early in the spring and go through that process. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It can be very taxing. But yeah, man, I left a lot of stuff off we didn't talk about tonight, and it's all good because we'll be back Monday, and there's always room, for that kind of stuff. I felt like the most important things that we had to discuss tonight were the 4th of July, number one, because I see the conversation and the controversy it starts in the community. People disagree with it, but like you say, but how many motherfuckers was letting off fireworks last night? How many people barbecue? Like for all you non-American motherfuckers, y'all sure did throw some damn good parties. And I love when black people party on the holiday and then say, well, it ain't for that, it's for this. Whatever. I get it. I get what you're saying. So listen, I think it's very important for us just to take stock of who we are. And I think we have to recognize our own potential. I think right now, this system has got us beaten down to the point where we don't even believe in our own greatness anymore. I think the faith is gone. I think a lot of people just don't feel like they have anything to believe in. And I couldn't disagree with them more. I think you have to really focus on the positive things that you have in life and appreciate them. And, people say, well, Kevin, I don't have this or I don't have that, but you got something. Everybody got something. And I think we got to focus on that. I do believe that this is a time for black people to make a change. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know who'll be the one to lead the charge, but we can't go forward with the way we're operating now and remain who we want to be. Like, so we want to be identified. We want to have this kind of power structure. We want to be involved. Most of us don't say fuck America. We say fuck the way America's run. Fuck the way America's governed, right? But you get people who take that and they hear that and they say, oh, that must mean fuck it all then. There's no need for me to even try to be progressive or positive. And then we got habitual line steppers in the community. And so our community becomes a very dangerous place. I don't want any black person to agree with everything I say. That's not what I look for, right? And that's not the way you get smarter. You get smarter by dealing with people who you don't agree with because you learn from them. Sometimes they learn from you. it creates what we call an understanding. And that's the most important thing that you can have above and beyond everything, man. And so it really just comes down to me asking my people as I usually do, like, what do you want to do? We know the problems because we can talk about all the bad shit for 4 and 5 hours. We want to remain solution-based on Outlaw Radio. So we'll throw out the bullshit and then we'll throw out the counterpoints and look at it from different perspectives in order to do that. And for people who feel like they need to separate themselves from us, or they can't go with something that's pro-black, or we can't do what we need to do, once again, I have to quote my man Willie D. Your mama should be embarrassed and your daddy should have pulled out. I'll see y'all Monday.
Peace.